Hello, hello. On today's show, we're going to all talk even more Ashoka. Mike says you'll need to dig deep in your wallet because his previews list is awesome and prices keep going up. And Patrick has a giant horizon for you this week. Welcome to your favorite live streaming, whatnotting podcast, comics and collectibles in the crawl space. I, of course, am your third or fourth favorite podcasting host, Kevin. And thankfully, once again, I am not alone. We've got a full staff today. First up, we've got the large and in charge, Patrick.
Hello, everyone.
That was more about your segment, no personal.
I got you. Yeah.
And then, of course, we've got the Idea Man Part 2, Mike.
Hey, I was waiting for the broke as a joke, Mike.
Oh, that's next week.
All right.
I was just thinking I'm usually the Idea Man, but as of lately, the ideas you've been coming up with, you're moving into that spot, which is good with me. I'm good with that. I love to just be agreeable,
Right.
So that's why I like to throw so many ideas out there, because I want somebody to agree with me all the time. And then lastly, of course, we can't forget, we've got the magic behind the curtain, Karen. Oh, that was almost perfect. That's good. She's obviously here. So
I didn't hear a thing. I thought she was glitching. Yeah, I had nothing.
Man, you're still having problems then, because I heard it. Did you hear it, Pat?
I did not.
Oh, geez.
That's all right.
She just did it again. Did you hear it that time?
Yes.
Caught the end of it. Yep.
Okay. All right, we got a lot of exciting things today. First of all, I just wanted to say, you know how some other live streams will have that? They'll put up the live stream coming soon for like a countdown, like an hour,
Yeah.
Do you guys like that?
Not particularly.
It doesn't affect me because I usually don't catch it.
Oh, okay.
A lot of stuff I do, I watch, early in the morning, 6:15 in the morning on my way to work and stuff like that. So nobody's going live then.
Yeah, let me restate it. Not like it, but do you think it's a useful tool? Is what, because I don't particularly like it either, because I don't, when it says they're going to be on in an hour, because I'll get the notification they're on and then I'll go to it and it says coming in an hour,
Yeah.
And
I
then
think it works for some people.
Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
I'm sure some people find it useful. It doesn't work for me though. I don't need it.
Okay. The only reason I mentioned that is because we've been here for an hour and a half. Pre-gaming today, So.
Yeah. Ours has been up for a while.
Yeah, we might want to think about that for the future. But anyway,
sorry to that one guy that was out there waiting.
Right. So today we've got preview, sneak peek into Cover Combat. And, we didn't even talk about when we're going to talk about Baltimore Comic-Con stuff. We're just going to weave that into regular conversation. What do you think? Maybe we should have a Baltimore Comic-Con segment. Didn't we do that last time?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys did.
But I, like Kevin, I'm not. Patrick, did you say you're in the same boat? Like my Baltimore stuff is still stacked up on a dining room table. I haven't had a chance to sit down and do much with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in the middle of the living room.
Yeah. Our wives love us, but
yeah.
Okay, but getting into the first thing today, previews. Everybody ready for that?
Yeah, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, me too. I heard Pat wasn't though. Dadgummit. I actually made a new previews intro that has this month's cover and it's longer, but I didn't upload it. So next time I'll get it. Next time,
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is previews, the previews guide for November 2023, right?
Yep. September for November.
So I'm about to and my list actually is influenced by Pat's comments in the way that I'm always the latest, I think, to kind of get around to show prep. So when Pat made his comment that he was underwhelmed with this previews, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to switch it up. Okay. So I'm going first, right?
Yeah, that's the rotation.
Yeah. So this is in the previews, but I'm doing something different, and you'll be able to pick up what I'm doing different straight away, I think. So the first thing up on my list is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre board game.
Okay.
So there's a gaming section in previews.
All right.
Yep.
So I kind of steered clear of the comics and there's some collectibles in here, but I decided I'd pick some games. So anyway, this is set up as a co-op game. So this is the cover, of course. This is what it looks like, and I've been a real sucker for those little standees as of late. I love minis, of course. We'll get to some of that today. But as far as these little, kind of classic traditional standees, remember that's kind of how it always was for us back in the day, right?
Yeah.
But this is a co-op game, and essentially, you got to work together to try to defeat Leatherface. And of course, he's going to try to be taking people out as the game goes along. But I thought that was a good first pick for me. I saw that, and I thought maybe you guys would enjoy that as well. So, or I don't know if you really enjoy the movie or not, but the whole nostalgia factor for this one for me. And I actually like the new Texas Chainsaw Massacres too. But anyway, so my first pick's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the board game.
Nice.
I'd play that one.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. You're gonna.
Yeah. All right, what do you got, Pat?
First thing I have is from Dynamite, and that is Savage Red Sonja #1. This is by Dan Panosian and Alicio Petillo. Not familiar with the artist. I know Dan is a huge Conan fan. It's funny why they don't just put him on a Conan book somewhere. But right. He's just writing this, and he's doing the cover. I imagine he's probably going to do all the main A covers. One of the things I wanted to spotlight were the B and C covers, which are Frank Cho and Art Adams. So you got 3 really nice covers to choose from if you want to partake in some Savage Red Sonja. I'll probably pass. Every time I buy a Conan or Red Sonja book, I end up not being very interested and just kind of peter out on it. So I might just pass altogether. But I thought it was interesting enough to mention in this month that didn't do me too good. So it's it.
Well, I'm definitely interested in that. I definitely want to get that Art Adams cover. That's for sure. Yeah. All these covers are great, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, and there's a couple more too, but I just included the 3 main. Oh, there you go. Mike's got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in my for the cover.
Yeah.
Segment, but yeah, I agree with. I want to get this, but I'm probably not going to. Panosian was doing all the artwork maybe, but
if I grab a few, it'll just be for sale. It won't be for personal because I've tapered down. So, but yeah, I'm totally sucked in by these all the time. But I'm doing a good job resisting as of late. But I'll grab this to see if someone else wants to get it off us. So, all right, Mike.
What I have this week
Oh, nice.
It's Petrol Head #1 of 5 from Image. This comes out November 8th. $4.99. A lot of books going there. So this is what got me. This quick description. An old, grumpy, obsolete, smoke-belching, cigar-smoking champion hot rod racing robot. That's like the main character.
That does sound awesome.
Yeah. So I think it's a world of robots, and there's this little girl that needs protecting, and that main robot protects her. The interior artwork looks so awesome, just vibrant, fast-paced. So this one I'm actually going to get. So watch for my review.
Okay. Can't wait. It definitely looks cool. That kind of looks like a speed racer car, but right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay. The next one I've got, speaking of like I just said with minis, I'm a minis guy, is Pathfinder Battles Fearsome Forces miniature set. So this is what's in this set. These are just the booster box, or the whatever, the blind boxes. You just grab these, you don't know what you're getting. This is what the complete set looks like, and they all look awesome. And I saw this, and this renewed my need for remembering to get minis regularly, because whenever Xcellar Con Builder comes to fruition, I want to have as many miniatures to use as options as possible. So I'm going to start trying to go to my local gaming store as regular as possible. Unless maybe Target or Walmart might have these too. I don't really think so though, because you guys familiar with Pathfinder?
No.
Really? Wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
Pathfinder's D&D 2.0, I guess. Well, there's actually a D&D 2.0, so I shouldn't say that. But it's just like D&D. It's a role-playing game, and these are minis that when they create their dungeons and maps and whatnot, they use to play around with, which essentially I'm going to do the same thing. It's just my board is going to be the Con Builder game board, and we're going to be running around with these things on there. But I like this new set. And this is there's a bunch of these minis. Fearsome Forces is just the newest one coming out. So that's my next pick. Pat?
All right. Yeah. You guys may have a bit of deja vu from the last previews show. But hey, no rest for your wallets here, folks. We have did I mess up here? I don't know.
Call an audible.
Okay. The Art of High-End Coffee Table Books. Yeah, got it.
Oh boy, now I'm second guessing myself here. This must be right. Who were the first two? David Mack and... Or are they just showing this again 2 months in a row and they fooled me?
No, this doesn't look familiar to me. This looks totally new. Does it look new to you too, Mike?
Well, David Mack sounds familiar.
No, I know, but as far as visual, I've never seen these covers before.
Maybe last time they just did David Mack. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right, Pat. Go with it. I think you're right.
Anyway, same setup. This was kickstarted previously. This is Alex Maleev. There's an Art of Marvel here. These high end by Clover Press, $75. And in addition to that, they have two portfolios. Once again, they have the Marvel art of Alex Maleev and the Daredevil art of Alex Maleev. There's the Daredevil. Here is the Marvel. So, like I said, they just keep pumping them out.
Yeah. I'm going to show my naivete again here with, I've never heard of this guy.
Yeah, he did long. He's another Bendis collaborator. He did long runs on Daredevil, Alias, Jessica Jones. Does a lot of cover work too.
Wow. Yeah, you guys know so many that I feel like I wish I knew. And I don't know what makes something stick in my head in particular, but yeah, I've never heard of this. So it looks awesome though, that's for sure. He looks like he's really good.
Yeah, and again, like I talked about with the David Mack book, it looks like they're very nice production here, even though I can't speak to it yet because these have not been released yet, but they certainly look high end. They have like this cool foil edge to them, and I think if you actually let's not get into the Kickstarter part. We'll do that for my next thing, but yeah, they just look nicely produced, but we'll see when they actually come out.
Yeah, I actually like how you're using the previews page on this too. That's kind of I guess you only can use the actual page if what you're showing is the only thing on that page. But
yeah,
I like how you're doing that. That looks cool. All right, Mike.
Yep. All right, next up I have Animal Pound. This is by Tom King and Peter Gross on artwork. And it's a modern allegory inspired by Animal Farm. This is the ash can, which they're saying is not going to be reprinted at all. Issue number 1 comes out December 20th. But this is the ash can. So I'm not sure if the story that's going to be the part of the story that's going to be in the ash can is actually going to be in the issue number 1 or not. By the way, they're saying it's not going to be reprinted. I'm thinking it might be more to the story that you're not going to get when you get the regular issues. So it's kind of, in line, like Animal Castle came out a few years ago and then was reprinted here, real Animal Farm like. So, and, Tom King's got it seems like he's kind of fallen from grace a little bit with the fans, but his name's still, when I see his name, I'm still kind of interested in what he's got. So, this is my next one.
What makes you think he's fallen from grace?
Well, a lot of people weren't happy with his Batman stuff at the end there, and it's just I think that haters like to hate, I guess.
Right.
But I think what was help me out? What was the Flash miniseries that
Heroes in Crisis, maybe?
Yeah, that angered a lot of fans.
Yeah.
So,
did a lot of bad things to a couple characters. And
yeah. So this one, I'm gonna pick this up. This sounds interesting. I'm a big fan of Animal Farm, so anything in that vein.
Okay.
And this is $2.99.
Nice.
Because it's an ash can. It's probably, I don't know how many pages it's gonna be. It's gonna probably like 8 pages or something.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Next up for me, kind of staying in the same realm, no pun intended, of what I was in. I got Dungeons and Dragons, Asteroid Treasure pack dice sets. Okay. So this is just a booster box, and then here's a picture of what would be in the bags. And it essentially has a set of dice, kind of the typical what I refer to as D&D dice of miscellaneous types, a set of tokens, which again can be used in Dungeons and Dragons, and then a cool Dungeons and Dragons bag. Now, I'm going to say this again, which kind of, you can tell I'm kind of going down this trail. First of all, I want to tell you about Pathfinder too. With, like I said, it's real similar to D&D. As far as role-playing game type thing. And Max has been playing actually Pathfinder a lot, and I used to play D&D when I was younger, and I always dream of getting back to that. I definitely try to plant the seed fairly regular to get my wife involved. I actually bought a regular starter set and a first expansion set within the last year. I think I might have told you about that, Mike, to try to get her involved. And then, because I have a lot of love for D&D, but the biggest reason I want this is again for Con Builder, because I need dice for each individual player. And this not only comes with a set of dice, but also a handy bag for that set.
Right.
So every player is going to get their own little D&D dice.
Yeah.
And, I know you guys know me. I will figure out a use for these cool tokens as well.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Sorry, what'd you say?
Yeah, it's all about repurposing other things to fit combo. Because for people that don't know, it's a game that's been in the works for probably 5 years now.
Right.
And all this stuff works because it's convention themed.
Yeah, it's great. I can't wait until it's done someday. I'm gonna get focused. We're gonna get focused on that one day. But not to dismiss D&D people. Hey, D&D people, if you didn't know, this is coming, and this is really cool. There's a sense of excitement you don't get from just going to buy a new set of dice. You look at them, you pick them, and you buy them. But you get the blind bag excitement here. What kind of dice am I going to get? You know how that works. So I thought this was pretty cool. But that's what I got.
It is cool. People like their dice out there.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a few setups at the Baltimore Comic Con. I actually bought a single die last weekend. So yeah.
But it's amazing. Yeah, they'll have a whole booth of nothing but dice. It's kind of crazy, and I don't mean that as an insult. I mean that as like it's just so how much that people can make money off one seemingly small little item. It's so crazy.
Yes.
Which I'm a sucker for them. So, but that's all I got. That's what I got.
All right, so I double checked my notes, and I was a little mixed up, but yeah, I only talked about David Mack's Marvel art by Clover Press. So yeah, they waited a month to dump Alex Maleev on you, and I had that all set to go for the previous preview, and then I think on Thursday they announced on Kickstarter the Marvel art of David Nakayama.
Oh.
So we're a little bit outside the lines here of previous previews, but it still falls into the same category. This is like a pre-order. Only it's Kickstarter. So if you want to kickstart this thing, it's basically the same price. They had an early bird. It was $70 instead of $75. But then again, you're gonna have to pay shipping with the Kickstarter, so things probably kind of even out or make things even more expensive through the Kickstarter. But in addition, there's also a portfolio. Only one this time. There's not a Daredevil portfolio. There's just a Marvel art of David Nakayama portfolio and the book. I like a lot of his stuff. Some of it, I didn't like him at first. Then he started to grow on me. I think he was getting better as he grew on me. And a lot of times, I think a lot of his stuff looks plasticky, but I kind of like it sometimes for certain characters. And like I said, he's grown on me. This one actually, because he's done so many variant covers, this one's a little more tempting to me in some ways than the other two books. And maybe when it eventually comes, like obviously these are kickstarted, but they're obviously going to be put out to mass market, and they'll be in your previews probably 4 or 6 months from now also as well. So maybe by then, you get a nice discount with your pre-order company. Maybe I'll pick this up, but just wanted to let people know about it.
Yes, I'm exactly like pretty close to what you just described, where at first I thought it was pretty cool, but I didn't really love him. But I love him. I love him now, man. If it's a Nakayama cover, I usually grab it. I'm excited when it's something I'm going to read and he does a cover for that. But in general, especially for, again, to sell to people, to hook people up with that, I grab all Nakayama covers. I really dig him now. So that's a great one. That's great, in my opinion.
Yep. All right. I shared this cover with you guys when I first saw it, maybe a month ago. We've got Incredible Hulk number 6. This comes out November 22nd. I love the cover, and it's 100-year-old Ghost Rider. So I was hooked right away. I'm already getting the Incredible Hulk book, so I was going to get this anyway. And I'm kind of on a Ghost Rider kick right now too. So this is like bang. Both things that I'm into right now.
Not to kind of try to bleed into another segment, but have you been reading these yet?
Incredible Hulk. No, they're in my stack.
Gotcha.
I think
I'm
Patrick
just-
was reading. I haven't read them yet.
Yeah,
Have-
I've read the first 2 issues. Still a little lukewarm on it, undecided.
Do you did you come to a conclusion as to why he has long hair though? That's why I was thinking. I wanted to know that. Why is his hair long?
Just because Bruce Banner's sort of in the drifter mode and his hair's grown out. Sort
Okay.
of hide himself. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. It looks cool.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
I love that design of that Ghost Rider. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. I agree.
All right. The next one I've got is The Lord of the Rings. Now, this just looks like a board game, but don't be fooled. This is an adventure book game. Okay. Now, I actually have an adventure book game already, and it's The Princess Bride, which I just thought it went with the theme of The Princess Bride. Obviously, being, if anyone's not familiar with the movie, the movie's about him reading a book to his grandson, and we're seeing what he's reading to his grandson. So obviously, which is one of the endearing qualities of Princess Bride, in my opinion. I will say though, me and Karen actually played The Princess Bride. It's one of the reasons I bought it, because Karen's such a huge Princess Bride fan. And we played it, and I was a little underwhelmed. It's tough because sometimes I never judge, no pun intended here, I never judge a book by its cover on its, and I mean that in the game sense, that on its first trial, like you got to play a game multiple times to really get your feel of what you actually think, it's so I haven't given up on it, and I still like The Princess Bride a lot, and the theme of it and the whole book idea. So when I saw this, and it's you see how it works. You basically open to the next page, and these are it's a book, but it's every page, quote unquote, is a thick cardboard, like a playing board. So when you open to the next page, you can see in the picture I have there, it then has a new playboard for that page, and then you read down the sides of the book that are around the playing board. And of course, this has cool minis, which I'm assuming it's all of your main characters that you're familiar with. And of course, I'm sure it follows Lord of the Rings spot on, probably more than anything else we're aware of, and it looks cool. So I'm definitely going to be grabbing this. Absolutely. Karen, prepare yourself. You guys prepare yourself. And I hope it's awesome. But it's a lot of fun. And I think it's a great concept. I want, it's one of those things that I like the concept of it so much. I want to have fun with it, So, anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Pretty neat idea. Does so how's it work? Does one person like do the reading, have the book facing them, and they sort of like dungeon master it while the other people play, or?
Yeah, yes. And the way we played it was we just took turns. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, me, my sister, and my niece, and we just took turns being the, dungeon master type person and kind of leading the story. But we still played as well, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it was a lot, and it was a good experience overall. It was just, I didn't think the game played as well as I thought it could have, essentially, but
okay.
So anyway, that's it. Lord of the Rings adventure book game.
All right. Since I'm kind of limited on my picks here, I'm going to segue and ask you guys a question. This sort of bleeds over into what Kevin watched, so forgive me here, because you mentioned The Princess Bride. Have you guys ever seen Once Upon a Deadpool?
No, actually, I haven't. I keep meaning to, but no.
The reason I mentioned it, if you're not familiar, they do like a framing sequence with Fred Savage and sort of.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Parody The Princess Bride, and
right.
We figured, it's PG-13. We figured we watch it with valor.
Yeah.
They bleep words out, and in some ways, I think they made it even worse than the R-rated Deadpool.
Oh, really?
I'm sure you've seen that, unintentional bleeps.
Yes.
Videos out there, and that's exactly what they do in one segment of this, and it's, man, I don't know. I was like uncomfortable watching it.
Okay.
So anyway, You guys can get Mike can go ahead with his next pick to catch me
Okay.
up with my limited number here.
Okay.
All right. Next up, I have, and this is for Spawn fans out there that would not be aware of this. Philadelphia, issue number 31. I think this is a vampire book. I've never read it. I kind of missed the boat on it, and but Spawn is actually in this issue.
Oh, really?
And,
Okay. I'm one of
Yep.
those Spawn fans that wasn't aware. Thank you, Mike.
Yep. So we've got the Jason Alexander cover. I'm kind of slow here. Things aren't popping up when I click them. A Francisco Mattina cover.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I think this is another Jason Alexander cover, but this is for the what do they call it? It's at the top, like a noir edition. So this version of it is all just his inks. So there's no colors inside this one. And finally, the Jay Lee cover rounds out the variants for it. So as far as I know, it's just I think Spawn's just in one issue.
What issue number is this? You said again? I'm sorry.
This is number 31.
Daggum.
Comes out November 15th. And Spawn doesn't cross over very often.
Yeah, I'm going to grab this. I hope it's a standalone. I don't have to have the other information about Philadelphia to enjoy it. Spawn's in it.
30 issues.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure they wrote it because knowing that Spawn fans are going to jump on this one.
Man, I always say I'm not a horror fan, but werewolves just suck me in. Man, that is awesome.
Yeah. But I think I think it's a vampire book. I love the Mattina cover. No surprise there. I think it's so good.
Hey, I don't hate it.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, I'll be grabbing that, Mike. Thanks.
Yep. And that's what I've got. Philadelphia 31.
All right, let's continue down this rabbit trail of gaming fun. Next up is Star Trek Away Missions miniatures board game. So this comes in sets of miniatures, kind of like a starter set, right? And then this is what the board looks like. And basically, and I actually like, this has been happening. I don't know whether I'm not as in tune with the gaming community as I am with the comic book community. So I don't know if this is just a coincidence with the last few games I've bought, or it's a thing now where they will, rather than having one big board, they will have multiple little boards. So you have options, you can flip them over and have different boards and stuff like that, which, XcellarCon, that's getting ready to happen. But anyway, but you can see here, it's got the boards and the minis, and you basically, it plays out like missions of your old familiar. I'm not a Trekkie, but I can appreciate Star Trek, even though I'm a Star Wars guy. I'm not one of those, I have to hate Star Trek because I like Star Wars kind of people. But I can appreciate Star Trek, and obviously there's some good Star Trek out there, but there's a bunch of expansions for this, and they're all different episodes, I guess maybe / movies of missions you're aware of from the show, and you play them out with these awesome minis. So I'll probably grab this starter pack because I want those minis.
Of course.
Yeah. But this one I've got up here is you can see on the box there, Battle of Wolf 359, which I'm not familiar with that episode, but it looks really cool. So I'm gonna grab a starter pack of one of these. So so whenever a Star Trek fan plays Con Builder, they can be their favorite Klingon or their favorite, Enterprise character, whatever. So anyway, Star Trek Away Missions, the miniatures board game. That's it.
All right. Next up, I've got the hardcover of Jonna and the Impossible Monsters Deluxe edition. This is by Chris and Laura Samney. I enjoyed this book for the most part. I thought it kind of petered out at the end. In fact, I never went back and used it for Get It or Forget It for this final 3 issues because I wasn't loving those last couple issues, how things wrapped up. But it's aimed more at a younger audience. It's got great Chris Samney art, even if it is, sort of, kidified in a way from his normal stuff. If you have, I would say, if you have a younger reader in your family, 12 and under, perhaps this would be a good, interesting pick. Like along the lines of Bone or something like that. I think kids would enjoy it as well as adults, but it's sort of slightly slanted towards the kids, I believe. It is, again, the hardcover for $45, and it's by Oni Press.
Nice.
How many issues was that it collects?
12, I believe.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good.
And you said you liked it overall, but the ending was left you a little dismay or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think it stuck the landing quite so good, but
Gotcha.
It wasn't bad, just wasn't fantastic.
Yep. All right. Next up, I have Eden Frost. This is one of 4, and this is from Mad Cave. Comes out November 22nd. Basically, this is 2 children are trying to survive during the Russian Civil War. And I have a thing for snow and winter stories.
Yeah, that's a great cover. Yeah.
As this is the B cover. I wanted to highlight this one more because I like the B cover. The A cover. Trying to switch over here.
We see it. Wait, that's the
nope.
City of Thieves. No, that's a different one.
I'm following up on that. My computer's glitching.
No, say it isn't so.
Ay.
There it is.
Like things were moving on my screen. So I mean, I'm not as much a fan. If all I had was the A cover to go on, I probably would skip over this. But yeah, I just love that B cover. So I'm gonna pick this up. And what it does, one of my favorite books is City of Thieves. David Benioff wrote it, and it's about, I think, still flipping around.
You got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles up.
That's seriously, everything keeps moving on my screen.
Oh, Ghost in the Machine.
That's not. Yeah,
I got City of Thieves up now. City of Thieves.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. So when I saw the Eden Frost and read about it, it kind of put me in mindset for City of Thieves, which takes place in Russia during World War II. And this has one of the best endings ever. Kevin, you love an ending that will really make a good story great. This one, the last line in this book made this book absolutely amazing. So with how much I like this, I'm really looking forward to Eden Frost. It's a 4-issue miniseries.
Can you put up that Eden Frost? Like this might. There you go. I thought the placement of the children were exactly the same on the City of Thieves and Eden Frost.
It's very similar.
Yeah, they're flip flop though. Yeah. But looks cool.
So that's why it kind of puts me in that mindset. Different time periods, but still a Russian story in the winter. So
yeah, them Russian winters, they're no joke.
Nope. So Eden Frost.
All right. Next up, I've got something that's not only what I would assume is great for us, but also
it has miniatures. Does it have miniatures or die? I'm calling it. It's got one or the other.
It might have both. Okay. But that's not the focus on it. You'll see. Okay. Anyway, this is good for us, but also for our wives, which is extremely important with guys like us, right? It's called, I'm going to probably butcher this pronunciation. I'll try first, then maybe Mike or Pat, you give it a go. Xcellar, okay, which I think means the library.
I think it's Libris. I think it's a short I.
Okay, cool.
Right.
We'll go with that. Okay, I'm fine with that.
Yep.
So actually, this is the revised second edition. the first edition. I actually should have. Well, we're kind of stacked with pictures, so I probably shouldn't have added another one. But I wish I would have thought at least about adding the original, which looked cool, but not as fun as this cover for this one. And this one is focused. Obviously, Mike's wife is a librarian, and my wife just is super. She's in love with books as much as she is with me. So I don't know where your wife stands on that, Pat. Is she much of a reader too, or no?
She was at one point, not so much lately.
Gotcha. So anyway, this cover, more than the cover of the first edition of this game, attracted me more right off the bat, which made me investigate even more in it, which made me even want it even more. And now I'm thinking, dadgum, why didn't I grab that before? Because I've seen it. I've had it in hand, checking it out. This is the back of the box. As you can see, this is kind of, I would say mostly this is card focused, but this is the picture I chose for my second pick on this. This is just the back of the box. But I've seen other pictures where every player does get a little, it's kind of just one of those little generic, wood block minis. And I think it does have die, but it essentially in this game, you're building the biggest, best library, and your points are based on how big it is and how well you arrange your books and how properly they are, themed together. All kinds of geek, book organization things, which obviously we could appreciate with comic books. It's a challenge and a different opinion of how you want to organize things and stuff. So I don't exactly know how this game plays yet, because I'm definitely getting this game. So this is one of those that I'm going to be like, hey, baby, look, let's play this game, because this is right up your alley. And I think it'll work, because not every time, most of the time when I do that, it works. But this looks really interesting. I think this might be a good fit for you and M too as well, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
I think she'd love it.
And the first one, and again, this is the revised edition, second edition. You know how games are; they update a little bit, they tweak the rules a little bit, and they come out with a new version. But the original of this is like in the top 100 of Board Game Geek, like all the time. So it's a great game. It's just when I've seen it before, it just didn't hit that spot. But now this it's just, I guess it's just the art that's got me, that I want to grab this. So Xcellar, the board game.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah,
I'm sure we're in.
All right. This one sort of just caught me because of the cover, but it's led me to start to rethink some things. This is Justice Society of America #9, cover B by Tony Harris. The cover, like I said, caught my eye, and this is by Jeff Johns and Michael Janin, or Michael Janin. I'm not familiar with the artist for the interiors. But I passed over Justice Society. But now I'm starting to rethink it. Jeff Johns did a run that I really liked in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I just kind of glossed over this when it was solicited as #1. It's a 12-issue limited series. So I'm not sure what it's all about or where, this is in all DC continuity, but just love the cover. And like I said, maybe I should have been checking this book out. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll look for it in the dollar bins. I don't know. But just big Tony Harris fan. Love the Starman stuff. So decided to spotlight it.
Yeah, this looks really cool. This actually does it remind you of, I may be getting my error wrong, but like, is it 90s Wonder Woman kind of look like these kind of cover, whereas it would have some kind of back fancy panel or whatever, and then you'd have art in the front. Was that 90s Wonder Woman?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
This looks cool though. I like it.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know if maybe that was the Perez Wonder Woman stuff that was kind of laid out that way.
Yeah, when was that?
80s.
Okay.
But all right. So I my random clickingness earlier kind of popped this one up already. One of the annoying things about The Last Ronin was the size.
Okay.
You know, those books that weren't magazine size, but they weren't comic book size.
Drove me nuts. I agree.
Yeah, hated it. Now we've got issues 1 through 5 in standard comic book size.
Oh, wow.
And these are, let me see, $4.99 a piece. I think the larger ones were, I think those were $7.99 maybe. Can't remember. So they're they come out, they start coming out November 8th, and then every week thereafter through December 13th is a new issue. So you get one issue every week for 5 weeks. These aren't the covers. These are just, I guess they're just black and white placeholders because it's solicited with all new covers. So you've got comic book size, all new covers, cheaper price. So if you missed out on the first one, this is your chance. Pick them up.
And didn't they put together a hardcover of them too already too?
Yeah. I think Patrick may have highlighted the hardcover.
Yeah.
I started to try to read it, but kind of didn't grab me. But I promised to try again. Yeah, the thing about this that gets me, and I'm sure it's been issued in trade paperback and everything too.
Yeah.
If they're gonna do this, why do it weekly? If you have the money to buy these all, you know what I'm saying? You could buy the trade paperback and get the same thing, all at one shot, and it would probably cost you less actually. So space this out for the month to month customer instead of doing it week after week after week after week. You know, it's the same thing. And it just, I don't know. I don't understand publishers sometimes.
Yep.
All right.
So that's it. Last Ronin.
All right. I've got another one that's kind of in the same vein as the last one because, I try to, well, oh, man. All right. Making it audible. I think I messed that up. All right. Check this out. This is Villainous by Disney. Board game. It's actually, I just call it a tabletop game because there's really not much of a board to it. Are either of you familiar with Villainous? I think I might have talked to you about this before, Mike, but are you familiar with it, Pat?
I've definitely seen them, but I don't know anything about them.
So Villainous is a solitaire. It's I like this term, which is, it's funny, is multiplayer solitaire game. Okay. And the reason it's called that, it's a perfect definition once I explain it to you. You get your own little, dashboard in front of you, and you're doing objectives on your own dashboard in front of you based on whatever character you pick. And you can do things, though, that will affect other people's dashboards. So you can occasionally do something just to screw with each other, but the primary thing you do on each and every one of your turn is you're trying to accomplish the objectives on your dashboard, and basically whoever accomplishes their objective first wins. So that's why it's cool to have a mechanism in there that will stall other players' progress a bit, and basically Disney Villainous came out first, and it's all bad guys, as you can imagine, and it's got all of the original Disney baddies that you're familiar with, and it had like the starter board with like Scar and Jafar and whatever that octopus lady from Little Mermaid, all these individual characters that come with their own deck of cards, their own little playing pieces, their own little cool mini. I'll show you I don't really call them a mini because I'll show you what they look like. They're kind of this odd bust. But anyway, they came out with Disney Villainous, and then they came out with all the expansions with the other villain characters. And then they came out with Star Wars Villainous, which incidentally, and I learned this the hard way, for anybody watching that likes Villainous and likes Star Wars, they are not compatible. You cannot Boba Fett cannot fight Jafar. Okay, that's not how. And you don't fight each other directly anyway. But the mechanisms for the gameplay are not compatible. You have to actually have the original Star Wars villainous, which is Darth Vader and all the classic Jabba the Hutt of villains. Well, actually, I don't think Jabba the Hutt is one. I'm drawing a blank right now. I actually haven't played Star Wars villainous yet. Oddly enough, they have a Marvel villainous too, which that's the biggest one I got for Thanos, and I got the Loki expansion came out for that for Ayla. So because I do the same thing with Ayla that I do with my wife, I get games that they're in their wheelhouse to get them to play with me, So anyway,
you trick them into playing. They don't even know they're being manipulated.
Right. But anyway, so I bought Star Wars Villainous, but I haven't actually had to play that yet. I need to get Tyler involved in that. But then they came out with this awesome expansion, or this is coming out this fall. This is Villainous Scum and Villainy. And this will include Boba Fett, Cad Bane, and Seventh Sister. And I'll give you a little pic here to show you what it looks like when it's out on the table too. So you look at the bottom of this pic, that's Boba Fett's own little dashboard. And then if you look at the top middle of the picture here, they're like little busts, but they have them kind of, I wish I knew artsy terms, but they're like artistically morphed in a way that you can tell it's theirs, but it's not just a normal bust. You know what I mean? It's like a sculpture that like an artist would, an interpretation of what they think Boba Fett should. It's really odd. And I actually didn't warm up to it right away. When I first saw it, I was like, that's dumb. But the more I've played it, I was like, you know what? These are kind of cool. But they aren't your typical mini. They're basically just the only thing they'd work for is this game. They only look cool with this game. But as you can see, again, in this picture I have here, there's 3 different decks for each different character. And like I said, they all have their own objective. But for this expansion, you would actually need the Star Wars Villainous starter game to use this as well. So, so I don't think this is going to be standalone playable. So, but I'm definitely going to grab it. And I liked how this has the slip cover on it too. You can see that, which I love slip covers for board games. Because one thing that's so frustrating to me is, I want to put my board game sometimes up on edge, depending on what my shelves are doing. And if you put a board game that ain't tight up on edge, it's going to, slowly eke itself open, which makes everything loose inside. So you got a nice slip cover like you have on this Scum and Villainous. It holds it all together tightly. So I like that as well, But this is what it looks like without that slip cover on it. So
nice.
It's very... Sorry, what were you going to say?
I said nice.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. All right, your turn, Pat.
This is my last one. This is Marvel. My one pick from Marvel this time is Secret Wars Battle World. This is another one of their attempts to do a sort of retro series within continuity, revisiting past events. And this is going to tell about other things we missed during the original Secret Wars. This is by Tom DeFalco and Pat Olaf, Pittsburgh area artist. I will probably get this, even though part of me wants to wait for a trade paperback, but a couple different variant covers, but I like this this one the best. I can never. I always see this guy. I like this guy's artwork, but I never really say his name out loud. It's the Giuseppe Kim and Nicola, something attempt like that. I don't know if anybody has a better. He did a long stint on Spider-Man, which I really liked. I think he moved over to DC for a while, and now looks like he may be back at Marvel. But this is a $5 book, and like I said, slim pickings this month for me, and I'm out. So,
right.
Well, I like this pick a lot because this works with what I've gone with this previous as well. That this is a game. I think this might actually be kind of game interpreted too. Isn't this? I think this is the game that I bought Mark for his birthday, right, Mike? Battle World.
I'm trying to. Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know? Is there? Do you know about any connection there at all, Pat, or anything, or is this totally news to you?
Yeah, I don't know anything about the game. Battle World is the name of the planet the Beyonder created, and they've used it time and time again since. So,
right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I thought this had. I didn't think it was a coincidence that Battle World is a game now and this came out. But I mean, I could be completely wrong because, yeah, I didn't look too much further into it. But, you know. Anyway, yeah, that's awesome. All right, Mike, what you got?
All right. What do I have? We're coming up on Christmas. So we've got 21st Century Santa Stories. And this is from American Mythology Production, which I think they usually do more adult-themed horror stuff. But this is actually it's kid-friendly Santa stories. So that's piqued my interest. I like Christmas-themed stories and books and covers and all that. So we'll give this one a shot.
Okay. I like that a lot. So, and I don't know. Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, that's my whole selling thing on this one is it's a Christmas book and it's good for kids.
Okay.
And it's the first one I've seen so far. You know, December. Once we get this December solicitations, we'll get all the Christmas stuff. But this is the first one, so that's why I'm highlighting this one.
Well, I wish I wouldn't have made and I don't know whether it's me again or, you know, technology. We're talking about how that doesn't cooperate with us half the time, but I could have swore I downloaded. So my last one, we're going to leave this pick up for my last one because my pick is not in here. It'll pop up later. I'll show it.
Yeah.
It's probably in Santa's sack there, Kevin.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, my last one is kind of similar in the way with Villainous and the Boba Fett / Scum and Villainy expansion. There's a new expansion coming, and this is perfect, Mike, for Dice Throne. Are either one of you familiar with Dice Throne?
If I had a picture, I might recognize it, but
okay.
Yeah, picture would help.
Yeah, sorry about it. Anyway, Dice Throne is a total combat game, as you can imagine, based on dice, but it's similar with Villainous in the way that you have your own dashboard in front of you, and then you roll your own dice, and then based on what you roll, it's kind of like Yahtzee. You get 3 rolls. You know, you roll once and you keep whatever you want, and then you roll a second. You know, and then once you have your result of your roll from your 3, you can then choose an ability that's on your dashboard to then smash the player across from you. I think you can actually play 4 players with me, but that doesn't usually limit me. I'll go 12 with this game because they have a lot of expansions for this as well. It actually started in kind of a fantasy world, with your typical, like elf knight kind of thing. But then Marvel got a hold of it, and I actually have the Marvel edition, shockingly enough, that has Scarlet Witch and Thor and Black Panther. And like I said, I love these type of games because everybody can play these, but be who they want to be with giving themselves their own agenda. I just love that kind of, again, this like, with Villainous, it's multiplayer solitaire, but with Dice Throne, it is you're literally attacking each other, but you get your individual powers. But anyway, that I'm explaining myself into what I'm getting ready to highlight for what's in the latest previous previews is a new Dice Thrones expansion called Santa versus Krampus. So I'm probably gonna grab that just because it's hilarious to me, and I don't like Krampus, and I want to smash mouth someone that would care to choose to be Krampus with Santa. I have no idea what Santa's abilities would be, or what. I got a little bit of idea what Krampus's abilities would be, but I don't know what abilities they'd give Santa. But that seems like a good Christmas time. And you know what? We're starting to get into moving into the holiday season. I like a couple Christmas themed choices here. This is good to go. Just eking it in a little bit.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But anyway, that was my last one that you didn't get to see. I'm sorry about it. I will share the photos of that are on my computer, just not on the show in Xcellar or something on the Facebook page or something. So
do that. Good.
All right. That's
All right.
That's it for me.
All right. I'm going to combine my next two because they're kind of similar. And this has been, well done. So we all know G.I. Joe is coming back to Image, and with issue number 301, which is awesome. So, and Larry Hama's writing this one. Marvel did issues 1 through 155. IDW did issues 156 to 300, and now Image is picking up with 301.
Awesome. That is awesome.
I think it's great how all three companies just continued because they have the collectors in mind,
Yeah. That is awesome. Yep.
So, then a little sneak peek at the interior work.
This might be a question. This might be a question getting into the weeds a little bit, Mike. You might not even be able to answer this, but do you know if they're all called? They're probably all just called Volume 1 then, or would they go with another volume? Do you know?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. And all the apps, they'll just have them broken down into
companies,
publisher.
Yeah.
So that's the interior work. Looks really awesome. And then that kind of leads me into I finally got to see the cover for Cobra Commander #1 from Image. Now this doesn't come out till January, but I just found the cover for it, and this is all part of that new Energon universe that Skybound's creating, which kicked off in Void Rivals. Read that book. It's not my review, but 1 through 3 are fantastic. Really, really great. Really great. So we'll see how these and the Transformers all kind of work together. That might be kind of exciting.
Yeah, if they don't mess it up, I could see how that'd be great, but I could see how that could be easy to mess up too. That's very complicated.
Yeah, because you've got your diehard Transformer fans and your G.I. Joe fans. They're not going to want to mix that probably.
Yeah,
so
they're expecting something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they may keep it light, just a little bit of crossover stuff.
Yeah.
So it's pretty neat.
Who did this cover?
I don't know. I didn't write it down. I don't recall.
I see Pat checking it out. Pat, who do you think it is?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know.
Yeah.
It looks pretty distinct. I don't know if I've seen anybody like that. Yeah.
But I'll have to look it up, or Patrick wants to look it up, or I've got one more book, and this is Basic Instinct. If we all remember the movie from the 90s.
What?
I think that was it. Yeah, this is a 4-issue miniseries from Massive, and this takes place in the same world as the movie. Basically, there's an artist that was inspired by the crimes that took place and does a big art exhibit, and then lo and behold, that artist ends up dead. So that's where now we have the mystery. The biggest thing for this, I think, the art is by Vanessa Del Rey, which she's done Scarlet Witch and Conan stuff. But this is amazing cover, so I think her art's gonna be really great on these.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Yep.
I was never a Basic Instinct fan, though.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't. This is mainly I think her artwork is going to be a good draw to it, and
right.
If you're into, crime stories, your crime comics. So that's my last series, but I do have 2 more for the covers.
Okay.
And this is Plot Holes #4. This is the B cover because we're we're all Hector Trinick fans from Astrobots. He does the B cover, and then Victor, Faro does the C cover, which I actually think is better.
That gum.
Yeah,
Freaking werewolves.
yeah. So
That
that looks great.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and I think Sean Murphy does the A cover, so it's kind of in the same style as issues 1 and 2 and 3. So that's what I've got. Those are for the cover and for the story. The story was good. I reviewed issue 1.
Yeah, I read it this week. I liked it.
Yeah,
You liked it? Good.
I can't wait to get around to reading it.
Yeah.
The Cobra Commander cover is Andrea Milana. Not familiar.
Oh
Okay,
my
yeah.
God, I love Andrea Milana.
You do?
She is so
do
good.
You do now.
Yeah, see the Cobra Commander cover. It kind of looks watercolory, right? The Cobra Commander.
Let me put it back up there. Sometimes it's hard to tell what medium they're using.
That's what I got.
Yeah, it's so tricky sometimes. They can use watercolor, colored pencil. It could be digital for all we know. They have those effects.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I really like it.
I was this close to grabbing a Cobra Commander and a Destro action figure that, of course, Pat showed us on the horizon. I saw him in Walmart, and I was this close. And I was just like, Kevin, just don't do it. You're not an action figure guy. So I got to stay in my lane with just Boba Fett and Mandalorians. I'm still going to grab those, and Batman and Spawn. See, it's too much already. Those are the characters. I can't branch off into G.I. Joe just because it's cool again.
That's why I don't get action figures.
Yeah, good policy, Mike.
And I don't Funko Pops.
Yeah, you know how we make the joke about Funko Pops.
Right.
I actually came to the realization this weekend, and I'm going to say it just like we don't collect Funko Pops. I don't collect prints, but sure as I go to every con, I cannot stop buying prints. They're so awesome.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into it because you've got to buy the print, and then you've got to frame it, and then you need the wall space.
Yeah.
It's not just about the print, there's more that goes into it. It's like a puppy. You really got to be committed.
Pat, where are you at on prints? Are you a print? Would you consider yourself a print collector at all?
Yeah, but I try not to go crazy.
What's your storage, your choice of storage with prints?
Mine are all in portfolios.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm always keeping an eye out for the blueprint file cabinets.
Oh yeah.
Every time I find one, they're a couple $100.
They're expensive.
Yeah. I mean, I've probably got 30 posters.
Yeah.
And they're all rolled up in a file cabinet, but I prefer to put them flat. But those are like the old card catalogs from libraries. You want one of those? Good luck.
Yeah.
$400, $500, $600 for those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, those flat files take up a huge footprint too. So it's kind of, where do I put this thing?
Yeah.
I had a line on one a couple years ago, and I came close, but I just didn't do it.
Yep. Yeah, I'd probably just buy it and then sort it out later. I'd probably put it at work.
Right.
Well, I've already got file cabinets doing that, Mike.
Right.
Yeah. And I just to update you, Kevin, if you're a big fan of this artist, it's a he, not a she. So.
Oh, sorry about it. Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Just didn't want you to,
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Right.
It's that Andrea, European spelling. I don't know if it's Andrea, and I don't know how you really.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Andy.
There you go.
We'll just Americanize it. What's up, Andy?
Did you say you had one more, Mike?
No, that was it. All
right, awesome.
Well, good luck with your wallets. Kevin brought the big money, big ticket items. And Patrick with the those hardcovers. Woo.
Yeah, Mike, you might want to say that again. You were being clapped over again.
Oh, I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, I figured.
It's like I'm deaf to it. But anyway, I thought I had a lot of expensive stuff on mine, but with your games and then Patrick with the hardcover stuff, that'll break everybody.
Yeah, true. I found another new game that's old that I totally want. That it's $200. I mean, everything's just insane now. The gaming community, it seems at large, likes to diminish, the Target, Walmart game buyers, but really those are the only ones that are affordable. You look anywhere else for games, the cheap ones are $60. I mean, and the really good ones are over 100 every time. I mean, if I get one game, if I get $100 game a year, I'm happy as a clam, and that doesn't happen every year. And then like most of the time when you spend that kind of money on a game, those are the hardest games to get to the table too. Not only because of time, but because if you don't have essentially a gaming community family, trying to whip out a humongous box that looks like it has 3,000 pieces in it with my family, they're like looking at me like, "What, are you insane? Yeah. What? Who do you think we are?" I tell myself the same thing with my Star Wars novels collection. It's like, I'll get to it when I'm retired. It's just me and just chilling. We're going to do a lot of reading and a lot of gameplay.
Yeah. When kids graduate and go off to college or military, wherever they're going to go, it's like, that's where I think that's where a little bit of time will come.
Yeah. You hope. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, that was awesome. Another great segment. Again, I'm going to shout out to Mike coming up with that segment. It's definitely growing as one of my favorites. I look forward to it every time for multiple reasons, to not only see your own stuff, but to scratch my own itch of stuff that I can't afford, but I get to look at and show everybody else. All right, we're ready for what I watched. I'll try to keep it brief as I can. Okay. To continue my theme of finding hidden gems, and sometimes they end up sucking, but sometimes they don't. I watched this movie called The Day. Are either of you familiar with it?
Nope.
Never heard of it.
This has Shawn Ashmore, aka Iceman, Dominic Monaghan, aka one of the Hobbits. I can't remember his name. I guess what you'd consider, in my opinion, the third Hobbit. Or was there? Yeah, right. Anyway, Shannon Sosman, she's in a lot of random stuff, but I dig her. And then Michael Eklund is in this. Corey Hadrick and Brianna Barnes. Okay, and this is a cool poster, right?
Yep, I would watch this one.
Right, yeah, so this was out in 2011. Me and Johnny were just talking about this yesterday too, that actually it was me and Tom. It's amazing how this is 2011, but 10 years ago doesn't have the same feel that 10 years ago used to have, or even 20. This was something I was saying to Ayla too. I'm kind of getting off on a sidetrack, sorry, but I was noting to Ayla, it's kind of crazy, because wouldn't you guys agree that 80s, 90s music is still everywhere? There's obviously radio stations that play it a lot. It's starting, it's old people music, for lack of a better way to describe it. It's in elevators, it's at your football game, right? 80s, 90s are still super relevant, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, just give me some concurrence here. Okay, because I'm getting to the point here. Think about when we were kids, what classic was relevant for us in the 80s? We didn't go back further than the 60s. It was classic rock, 60s, 70s, right? imagine we went back 40 years, when we were kids, and that music being the relevant kind of popular kind of everywhere music. It's kind of a crazy thought, right? 40 years ago ain't what 40 years ago used to be, right? You guys tracking with
Right.
how this is kind of making me feel,
Yeah.
So anyway, again, this is out 2011. I love the poster. Obviously, lots of big names, and I didn't do my math on when X-Men, when this Iceman with X-Men and when the Lord of the Rings with this Hobbit were relevant. I can't remember off the top of my head what years those were, but I'd imagine, again, these are top-notch stars that either it was relevant at the time or it was very recent that they were just in Lord of the Rings and X-Men, right? I mean, it's not that far off, correct?
Yeah.
So again, another one. I love highlighting these that it's like, man, who knew? Right. And this is a very, now there Karen goes again, reminded me, where did I watch it? I watched this on Amazon Prime. So thank you once again, Karen. Anyway, again, The Day, and that summarizes this movie very well. It takes place in one day. And hold on to your seatbelts. I got a shocking thing to say, that shocking plot line. Okay. We've destroyed the world. Okay. This is a post-apocalyptic universe world we're living in, right? And these 5 are basically journeymen just trying to survive. These 5 have joined up to basically live, right? And they go to this house in the middle of this field to take shelter from weather. And then they discover all kinds of inventory and rations. Everything they kind of, they're scavengers by day just to survive. And it's just a day-by-day situation for them in this world. And they find this house in bad weather, and it's got all kinds of great supplies in it. So you guys want to speculate as to what that could possibly mean? No? Okay. This is someone else's house, right? Another group of people that far outnumber this group, and these people are crazy, right? So they actually set traps. So they start gorging or whatever on all these supplies and love and life, and spend the night. And then traps are set, and it kills one of them, and then then it sets off this crazy alarm, this big bomb alarm kind of horn or whatever. So people from everywhere around that all this stuff belongs to come down to this house, and essentially that's what this movie is. The whole movie takes place at this house with the people that the stuff they've been using is their property, came back to get their stuff. And incidentally, they are cannibals. So they actually like when people come into this house and take their stuff. It's kind of like, setting a trap,
Yep.
Not only traps are there, not only to protect their stuff, but their stuff is there to get people to come in to be trapped so then they can eat the people. And that's their supplies as well. So it's pretty crazy. And there's a little interesting plot twist in this. I won't get too deep into this one, but this is entertaining as heck. If you want a gratuitously violent, action-packed, hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever, but with quality acting, quality stars, and but the story, like I said, is relatively simple in it, and all takes place in one day. So I'm going to give this a solid 8 for what it is. If you're into that kind of thing, definitely give this a shot. I didn't really see too many problems with this. I was happy I checked it out. So The Day on Amazon Prime. Then I watched Asteroid City. And I know you both mentioned you wanted to watch Asteroid City as well. I do believe this is on Hulu. It's where I watched this. Did you guys get a chance to watch this yet? Either one of you?
No.
Nope.
So this is a Wes Anderson movie, which obviously he has a style, Wes Anderson, right? I'm saying that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Obviously he has a style that, as soon as you see his movies, if you didn't know he made it, immediately. Would you guys agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
it kind of puts you in mind of, Mignola when you see him, Wes Anderson when you see his stuff. And I intentionally chose this poster too, because this is also fitting for Wes Anderson movies. For anybody who's not familiar, everybody's in them. Anybody they're in it. This poster has the whole list of everybody in it. Jason Schwartzman, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, Bryan Cranston, Ed Norton, Adrian Brody. I mean, it's like everybody's in this, and this poster is great because it's got everybody sitting there for a group photo. So where are you guys on? How much you guys want me to worry about spoiling for this for you? Is it that important to you, or what? What do you mean to do?
If there's spoilers, I'll probably check out because I definitely.
No, I just won't say them. If you care, okay. I just won't say any spoilers. Basically, just the plot of this, and it's interesting. I don't know whether you're even familiar with what the specific plot is. So this is a movie about a play about a play. Were you aware of that?
No.
So a lot of that is that it's very layered like that, and essentially the plot is Asteroid City is a city where an asteroid had fallen in the past that tourists just go to see this asteroid, and the National Science Convention for kids, like whatever you call that, I'm butchering that, whatever that's called, but the award ceremony for science achievements in children is being held there. So you got just regular tourists that are coming to see the meteor, also with all these kids coming for the science convention, all meet up here and things happen. And like I said, and it's told in a movie about a play format. So it's confusing as heck, and it's a little bit uneventful for me. It's in my opinion the least eventful Wes Anderson movie I've ever seen. And I actually, especially with movies like this, because this isn't exactly my jam, but I definitely check them out because I can appreciate them. I wanted to go to the people that I feel like are big Wes Anderson fans to see what they said. And I didn't find hardly any good reviews. It's all beating this up a bit as that this is not his best effort, So, take that for what it is, but especially without it being my jam, and in particular, and with it being extremely uneventful and extremely dry, which that's kind of par for the course of Wes Anderson anyway, I give this a 4. So I don't recommend anybody watch this if you're not familiar and already like Wes Anderson. But I would even hazard to guess that for Wes Anderson fans, it seems like very disappointed with this one. So, I would love to talk more, but again, I don't want to give any spoilers away to tell you exactly what I'm talking about. But man, wait, I'm really interested once either one of you see this, if either one of you like it. Jessie watched this with me too, because she definitely likes this kind of movie, and she didn't even like it. So it was just lacking in a bunch of ways, And I didn't care for the whole movie about a play layering of the whole movie anyway. The look was cool though. I mean, that's definitely one of the reasons I always check out his movies is the looks are cool. I like the look of his movies, so.
All right. I'll let you know when I watch it.
Okay. Thank you. And then I got around to, and this might be good for Karen, because she, I know, is only in the know because she watches and is part of Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space, but maybe you might not even be aware of this, Mike. The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon premiered over our break here.
Yep, my father-in-law wants to watch this with us.
Did you know it was out yet?
Yeah, because he told me, he said, "Hey, we gotta get this watched." So
okay. So you're in. So Pat, you in?
Yeah, for some reason, the DVR picked up like some kind of preview thing of it, and I missed the first episode. So I'm waiting for it to rerun tomorrow, I think, with, in episode 2 to catch up. But actually, in the meantime, we started watching Dead City. So we might finish our Dead City before we watch this one.
Yeah, I watched the first episode of Dead City too. And basically this is just a this is Daryl Dixon in France, which, you know, again, I don't know how much I don't want to say because I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but this is fine. I liked it. You know, if you're a Daryl fan, which I don't know anybody who isn't, you know, it's classic Daryl awesomeness. And it's, you know, it's Walking Dead with just Daryl and no one else. And just first episode, I mean, just in general, it just starts to give you what the season is going to be about. It actually doesn't really get off the ground too far. We're just adapting to Daryl in France and get what the rest of the season is going to be about, and get a couple other people to start to be familiar with. But I enjoyed it. I'm actually in. I'm gonna try to keep up with this amongst other things. And so if you guys, the next episode, want to catch up, get episode 1, and I think 2 will be out by then, right?
Yeah, I think 2 comes out tomorrow.
Okay, so yeah, if you guys want to catch up with both 1 and 2, that'd be great. Especially since you're saying your father-in-law wants to watch this too, Mike. Maybe this one we get all 3 keep up on. That'd be awesome.
Yep, I'll try.
All right, and then I watched Ashoka episode 4 and episode 5 while we were away. Pat, you caught up?
Yes.
Mike,
you're still way ahead of me.
Have you watched the first one yet?
No, you're 5 episodes ahead of me now.
I thought you said your family was interested. You were going to try to get this one. No, that changed.
Yeah, they are, but it's I have not had.
Well, in a month and a half, it hasn't been prioritized.
No, this week, Emily had back to school nights, so she wasn't getting home until 8:45. And
I get it, I get it.
It's crazy.
Not to dog you. After a month and a half, it's not something. It's a priority. That's all it is because I guarantee you and your family have watched things in a month and a half. This just isn't your priority. That's all. Which is nothing wrong with that.
A month and a half. It's been out for a month and a half now.
Yeah, a month and a week, almost. We're 3 days short of a month and a half now.
A month and a half.
Yeah,
time flies.
It does. Yeah, but once you're 6 weeks into a show, if you haven't checked out episode 1, you just don't care.
Well, to be fair, 1 and 2 came out the same day, so.
Oh yeah. Oh, Mike, you're right.
Cut 1 week off.
It's only been 5 weeks.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's only been.
I've had so many things going on, and I can't concentrate on anything until this drops off, and now I can work on this. And once that drops off, then I can drop. I'm just making up excuses.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. It's fine. Pat, did you want to say things about 4 and 5 real quick first, or do you want to say something about 4? Then I'll say about 4, and then 5 and 5. We can do it that way.
Sure. I mean, I'll just say 4, loved it. 5, loved it even more. How about that?
Fair. Okay. You know what? You ready? I agree.
There you go.
Yeah. 4 was the biggest reason I loved it is because I had no complaints. It wasn't a huge episode, but a couple cool things happened and I had no complaints. So that's all I need. You give me some Star Wars that I don't have any complaints about. I'm not I'm pretty much going to say I loved it, and then with episode 5, man, and again, talking to it was a full house of getting into critiquing conversations with Tom and Johnny yesterday, and we talked about Star Wars, and one of the things we talked about is, man, they are just nostalgia baiting left and right, which you can look at that as a bad thing, of course, which it seems like a lot of the haters are doing, like it's the stories lacking, so they have to use all this nostalgia bait stuff. But I'm team Star Wars, so man, I was digging all of the nostalgia bait like crazy. I mean, obviously, in episode 4, we got I shouldn't say obviously. In episode 4, what we got was Ahsoka and Sabine, and especially since we're talking about 2 weeks ago, you're going to have to help me out a lot on this one, Pat. So Ahsoka and Sabine finally getting to the map and wanting to destroy it so that they can't find Thrawn. So they finally, we get the big epic battle between Sabine and whatever the Night Sister's name is. I'm totally, again, not remembering the name specifically. And Ahsoka versus, what's his name again? Dadgummit. What's both of their name, Pat?
Balin Skull. He's the, and these are okay. And so these are both Dark Jedi. They're not, the female is not a witch. That's
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
These are 2 Dark Jedi, and she's Shin Hati.
Okay. Yeah. Shin. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. So Shin and Sabine fight, and Balin and Ahsoka fight is what the meat of episode 4 was, correct?
Yeah. And Marok, he was in the fight too.
Oh wait, he was? I thought he died.
It started out with Marok and Shin Hati tracking down Ahsoka and Sabine, and then they took care of one of those people and then moved on to the
right. Okay, yeah. See, again, thank you for reminding me on that. Which I think we can talk about which one they took care of, because that's actually why I'm going to use that as an excuse. But it's my reality as to why I was confused if Shin was a Night Sister or whatever, because it seemed like Marok, whenever Ahsoka takes him out, he vaporizes, similar, in my opinion, to the way Savage Opress died, where once he died, he kind of turned back into his night brother, I guess, whatever form you want to call, that he was. So that was my speculation on it. Did you say you agreed with me on that?
Yeah, I most definitely would agree with that.
Okay, good. Okay.
That's Morgan. Morgan is the Dathomirian witch, and she probably had something to do with all of that.
So why do you think when the witches make the men, they're kind of, Sith-like, but when they make the women, they're not? They're all witch-like. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah, don't know.
Anyway, so yeah, that happened in episode 4. And then, they accomplished their mission. Balin and Shin accomplished their mission of getting the coordinates. I guess they just needed to fight them long enough to get the coordinates that they needed to, get to where Thrawn is in one, jump, right?
Yeah, they were one step away from getting the final bit of coordinates, and they were stopped. And then, so.
Oh, yeah. So then they actually accomplish getting the map or whatever from Balin, and then Balin coerces Sabine with her love for, or want, maybe love strong, I don't know, but her want to find Ezra, and convinces Sabine to give him voluntarily the map to then get the final coordinate to make the jump.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
And Sabine agrees to go with them.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. She was in handcuffs, but.
Was she?
Yeah.
So she agreed. So she gave him the map and agreed, but then they handcuffed her anyway because she, you never know. But he was like, be nice to her. I gave her my word or whatever. Right?
Yeah, Balin gave her the word. Meanwhile, Ahsoka's out of this fight because Balin knocked her into the water, into the ocean.
Right. Which that's what I was gonna say. Ended the episode with Ahsoka. They kind of give us the impression. Well, everyone else is under the. Well, I shouldn't say everyone. Sabine's under the impression Ahsoka's killed. But Ahsoka goes over the cliff into the water, and she sees none other than Anakin, Hayden Christensen, because when she went into the water, she goes into what's the name of that world that we were familiar with originally from Rebels? Do you know what the name is? Or dimension or whatever you call it? Do you have a definition that we can use? You're muted. You're muted, Pat.
Yeah, I can't remember the name. It'll come to me, but it's sort of like a dimensional bridge where all these timelines converge and they can see in these portals and pull people out of them. And Ezra has been here before. Ahsoka's been here before.
Yeah. That's another thing with with Ahsoka. It really is Rebels deep. I mean, you need to really have. I guess you don't need to. You could still enjoy it, but
it definitely enhances. Yes.
Yeah. To get the full effect, you need Rebels. So anyway, so that's how episode 4 ended, where she's all happy because she sees Anakin in this alternate dimension, and then basically episode 5. We get the full experience of everything that this dimension has to offer. Basically, the focus of episode 5 is Ahsoka and, reliving past events, which young Ahsoka, man, I dug her. I actually like young Ahsoka, the way she looks and acted in Ahsoka ways better than adult Ahsoka, which I'm not hating Rosario Dawson. I'm just, I still not quite there as far as really loving it. But I thought the teenage, whatever, I don't know how old she is, but the young Ahsoka that we know from the Clone Wars cartoon she was very good. Did you think so, Pat? What'd you think of her?
Yeah, I thought she was fine. She was actually the young Gamora too. And
that's what I was going to mention that as well. Yep. I didn't realize. Yeah.
The only thing about that is I wish they could have possibly used this third actress for the battle at Mandalore, because I felt like she was definitely was a few years older at that point. Well, I guess not. Really, I guess not, because how long did the Clone Wars really last? I don't know.
Oh, man, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Actually, you'd think it'd be less than 5 years. Yeah, maybe not that big of a difference. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was fine. That's a very, very minor nitpick. I thought she did a good job.
Yeah, man, and Commander Rex is in it. He looked awesome. I thought he was, man.
I can't believe they didn't take the chance to have him take his helmet off.
Yeah, we didn't see what's his name again.
Morrison. Yeah.
I mean, they obviously got him on the payroll,
Sure.
So why not still use him? Yeah.
That's why it was kind of a head scratcher.
Yeah. But I thought that was really done well. It was amazing to me, the recreation of the Clone Wars scenes they put in there. It was like every bit as motion picture-esque, for lack of a better way to describe it, right? Yeah, I thought it was great.
It was really cool, except everything was in that sort of sandy, misty, cloudy.
Probably intentionally, right?
Yeah. That's why I didn't have a big problem with it. Because you could read it as a budgetary thing, or you could read it as she's in this other world and things aren't really happening as they are.
That's how it's going to look.
It worked. It was fine.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, so yeah, it's total. If you like the Clone Wars movie, you like the Clone Wars or Attack of the Clones, you like the Clone Wars show, you like Rebel, you get all of it in this episode. Because then, of course, while Ahsoka is experiencing this, reminiscing with Anakin and, all the clone experiences she went through as she was growing up with Anakin, where we've also got Hera on the case with Kanan's son. I can't. What's her son's name? Do you remember?
Is it Jason?
Oh yeah, Jason. Yeah. So yeah, with Jason starting to show Jedi abilities that he can sense where Ahsoka is, and Hera's on the mission, kind of breaking mission protocol because she's not supposed to be on this mission, but she takes it upon herself to go on a mission to find Ahsoka because Jason's like, hey, Mom, she's here, kind of thing. So that's what we're kind of flashing back with obviously the meat of it being Ahsoka's experiences, but we keep tracking with Hera finding Ahsoka, and then of course at the end of the episode, she finds her. Which so yeah, I thought it was great. Now and then, this was okay. This is my only critique about 5, but it was so awesome. I still say I loved it more than 4, which I'm saying I loved it, but with the hyperspace whales, they're back, and they're going to use the hyperspace whales to track Sabine and all of Morgan and all of them, because right before they left, they actually destroyed the map, so they have no way of tracking them except for Ahsoka to do a Vulcan mind meld with. Oh wait, that's the wrong Star Trek. But anyway, she uses her Jedi powers to kind of meld with the mind and speak with one of the hyperspace whales that are floating around everywhere. And then they go in the mouth of the whale, and the whale goes into hyperspace, and that's the end of the episode. And they're headed to Thrawn, essentially, right? That's where we are, right? Did I miss anything else?
That's the idea. Yep.
So, and again, my critique on this is just, I thought I'm fine with Ahsoka, because in Rebels, again, with these whales, Ezra had this Jedi connection with the whales that was pretty prominent. So I'm fine with Ahsoka having this information from the whales. But the only thing I did think was, why didn't she just get the information from the whales and then enter that in the hearse? I thought it would have been cooler if she just got the information from the whales and then she heads off with the ghost and everything, rather than the whole ghost going in the way. I thought that was tiny bit hokey, but like I said, very small, not a major complaint, very small. But I just thought that was a little hokey, but I mean, it's fine. They had to get in the mouth of the whale to go to hyperspace because the whale knows where they are, rather than just telling them where they are, right? I mean, did any of that get you at all, or you're fine with all of it?
Yeah, it's fine with that. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe I didn't take it as they knew where they, where Thrawn is. I think I just took it as this is their migratory path, and Ahsoka went with it, not knowing, because she even mentioned it. I think she mentions that she thinks this is where we're going to end up, but she doesn't
really know. That's true. She did mention that. Yeah. But it was fun. Yeah. Hopefully when we get there, the whales kind of move along. I've had enough whales for, they're interesting. Well, I think this is the 3rd episode where they've been kind of this prominent backdrop. And the whales were really cool in Rebels, because they kind of were, I think, a 1, if they were in 2, I don't remember exactly, but they're like this 1 episode cool thing, right? I thought, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I can't recall.
So anyway, episode 4 and 5, Ahsoka, get a stamp of approval from me. So essentially, just watch 1 and 2, laugh and critique and ridicule episode 3, and then get back to loving 4 and 5. According to me, Pat's apparently enjoyed it all to this extent, or to this point in its full extent. So take it for what it is. But I'm excited to see it. And I think, Pat, you said last episode, it's only 8 episodes, so we're getting there. We're going to get there soon. So,
yeah.
And that is all I watched, which actually, that's all I'm going to talk about. I watched a lot more with us having 2 weeks off, but that's the good stuff. So.
They're clapping.
Yes. All right. Thank you, studio audience. All right. I can't wait to see which covers won this week. See what I'm going to pick up next Wednesday. You ready, Mike?
I will be in a second. Yeah, I'm ready now.
All right. Hey, Mike, no pressure, but our viewership just doubled. So they came obviously for you. So there you go. How about it?
They had it timed perfectly.
Yeah.
All right. This week's pick 3. We've got these 10 books will be out September 20th, next Wednesday. Yeah, we'll start with Captain America #1, Jesus Saez. Strange Academy, Moon Knight, #1, Nick Bradshaw. Batman, Superman, World's Finest 19. This is the Dan Mora variant cover with Nicolas Cage Superman on there. Star Wars Bounty Hunters 38, E.M. Gist with the Cad Bane. This is the Clone Wars anniversary cover. Wolverine 37, K.O. New. Superman 6, Lee Bermejo. Green Lantern War Journal #1, John Jiang. I don't know if it's a long G. Amazing Spider-Man 34, John Romita Jr. and John Romita Sr. Uncanny Avengers 2, Javier Garron. And then Nightwing 106, another Dan Mora cover.
All right. Where's Pat's approval level on these 10?
It was decent week, I'd say.
All right. Awesome. That means excellent in Kevin.
Yeah.
Talk. Yeah.
Marcus wanted to pick all 10.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much where I was.
Yeah. He's like, no, that's my job. I pick all 10.
Right.
For the first time ever, whoa, what just happened? That was me. Sorry. First time ever, Valor said he didn't really like any of these covers. I don't know what? I'm not sure what was going on there.
Sometimes it's the mood, right? It's got to be. Sometimes it's just you get in a mood, and you might love a cover later that you thought you didn't like it all at first, all kinds of stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And vice versa, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
But there was literally, I had to pick from, I was able to get down to 8, fairly simple. And I was like, oh man, where do I go here? So, and thank God, Mike, you put this up for us way early this week. I needed those days to keep revisiting it.
Right. Yep.
All right.
We'll start off with the #3 cover of the week. I'm delayed everywhere. There we go. Wolverine 37, KL New.
The studio audience is delayed too because this is awesome.
I didn't hear studio audience.
I love this.
Yeah, I get the homage for the John Romita Jr. cover that you're a great fan of. We're all a great fan of.
No. Okay, you keep getting that confused. It's the other one that I don't. It's the Barry Windsor Smith one. Yeah. Oh, I thought you were saying that ironically. Okay.
No, I was saying it literally. You're a great fan of it.
Okay, cool. I thought because this harkens back to when you did a video where you had Cora and Mark pick their favorite cover between this one and 222. Yeah.
Oh no, it was what is it? What are the covers? 206 and 212. I can't even remember now. But it's the John Romita Jr. and the Barry Windsor Smith Wolverine covers.
Are you sure? I don't think so.
Yeah, those are the 2 covers. I don't recall the issue numbers.
Okay. All right, fine. Anyway, okay. I don't know why I felt like you didn't think I liked that. Okay, but since that's fine. Okay, good. Yeah. Barry Windsor Smith, and I like Barry Windsor Smith too. Okay,
right.
It's just that cover. I feel like I always have to clarify every time this comes up. Anyway, moving on. Sorry, Mike.
Right. And coming in second place this week, and it's been a while since I think he's placed. He used to dominate with his Batman covers, but Superman #6 from Lee Bermejo. Man, when he started these and they did the first one, I think it was issue #4 with the whole foil cover. I was awesome, man. They're gonna do all of these foil cover. That'd be great. No, they just did the one.
Yeah, why is that, Mike?
I don't know. Every single one of these, it's like they said, look, Lee, we're going to do these all in foil. So with the way you do them, make sure that it's, it'll just pop off the cover. So he's doing that, and they're not doing them in foil cover.
Right. I was thinking this one as a foil cover would be so spectacular. Did you like this one, Pat?
No.
I didn't think you would. Do tell. I want to hear what you have to say about it.
Artistically, I think it's well done, but it doesn't look like Superman to me. And I think the metallic shield is stupid.
Well, that's because it was supposed to be foil. Yeah.
Mike, I don't know. The laughing started, so I don't know whether everybody heard what you said. That was a perfect retort, though. It was like, yeah, this looks stupid because it was supposed to be a foil cover, right?
Yeah.
I love this one so much, except I was just speculating that Pat wouldn't like it, and thank God I nailed it. I only do that occasionally, but because this is great. I love it, but I can tell extremely artistic people would have issues with that. So anyway.
Yeah, I voted for this one. I loved it.
I don't think I ended up voting for this one, actually, just because it didn't make the cut. But what's up with his eyes, too? One's red, one's blue. What's going on there? Do you know?
I don't know. He might be getting ready to blast something. I don't know.
Oh, wait, that's a reflection off of his overly bright shield on his chest. Yeah, that's it. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, right. All right. Anyway. All right.
And number one, I was surprised that that this one was number one. Coming up. I don't know if there's an audience going on right now or cheering.
It happened, Mike.
It's so funny. I'm still talking and the drum roll's going. All right, number one with a delay.
Oh, wow.
Nightwing 106 from Dan Mora.
I am surprised too. I think I picked this one, but I'm surprised. I didn't think it would be number one.
Yeah, well, everybody picked this one.
That makes it number one. There you go.
Yeah. Well, except for Valor.
I thought Wolverine was going to be number one. That would have been my guess. Yeah.
That Wolverine cover, I have problems with that one too.
What?
All right, let's go back to it. Let's hear this.
Go back. Why?
His proportions are all out of whack, man. Look at that beefy right leg. His belt is down below his left arm. You can see his belt down there. His left arm is all out of proportion. Look how big that bicep area of his arm is, and like his forearm looks out of whack too. It's just so many things about this cover I don't like.
Wow, I'm not seeing that even with you pointing it out. I think it's just
Wolverine's arm is all one thickness the whole way down to his glove, practically right there. It just looks, I don't know.
Maybe I see that. Yeah, that was because that's what I was going to say. Actually, I was going to defend the right thigh being so big by saying that the left thigh is also that big, but the arm's blocking it so it doesn't look as big. That's how I took that.
And then even his Quasimodo back. What's that? Wolverine have a hump now?
Oh man, yeah, I see that.
Man, I hate this cover.
That puts you in mind.
That out of here with it.
That is the reverse angle of the classic Liefeld Captain America.
Yeah.
You got Wolverine's back. Oh man, dadgummit. I used to love this cover.
At first glance, I thought this was a pretty decent cover. Then I started seeing all the wacky anatomy problems with it, and
Well, I'm still digging it. But I'm definitely seeing them now too. Dadgum.
Yep.
Thanks, Pat. It's okay. I'm not mad at you though. I love you for this kind of take. I love it. So yeah. I'm definitely gonna be trying to grab this one though, that's for sure. Hopefully this is the one that just gets put in my box.
Maybe.
What's that say in that? What's that X-Men Go Uncanny? What?
I don't know. Where are you looking?
Where it says X-Men.
Oh, 60 uncanny years.
Oh,
Kevin.
yeah.
Oh, 60 uncanny years. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's the variant themes for this month, I guess. They're doing a lot of the X-Men 60th. This is one of them.
Oh, that's very cool. Okay, I like it. Awesome.
So that's your pick 3. Go get all 10.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff.
That it is.
Okay. That was quick. Good job. Now ready for something that's not so quick. Are you ready, Mike?
Yeah, I'm third.
Right.
That's mean.
All right, Mike, you ready? Go ahead. I was trying to find a way to do it during the intro. That would have been great if he came back there. That would have been even better. But I did that pretty slick anyway. Mike, you're first. You thought you were third.
I knew I was going to be first. All right. You want to shuffle these screens around?
Yeah.
I've already done it. And it's just mine hasn't.
No, you're good. You're good.
It's like I'm in another dimension here. Now I'm watching it live on my phone, and my phone, which is normally behind, is actually ahead of my computer.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, who knows?
Look, that is the wrong cover. I messed myself up. Look at me. Okay, here we go. Let's start with this cover. Kind of let's see if that's the right cover. There we go. So I read Lost at Sea as but Kevin and Patrick might be more familiar with the actual variant cover that I have, Forbidden Robot Love.
All right. Yeah, I can't wait to hear this.
So I got this at the Baltimore Comic-Con. My Cora and I were walking over. Saturday was kind of her day. We're walking, and then I see this out of the corner of my eyes. We watch it. I'm like, whoa, stop. What caught me was the forbidden part of it, because there's Dark Mansion of Forbidden Love, the old DC horror book. And so I saw that. I was like, oh, wait, what's this? And with the sea captain on there, it's like, oh, this looks pretty cool. Robots, sea captain, So I stopped, and this is a variant cover. And inside what I showed first is one of the other covers. There are multiple covers for this. It's very confusing. It's a small publisher. But anyway, this is
well, I definitely like this one better.
Yeah. I like the other one. And the other one fits. Once you read the story, the other one makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
It really works. So lucky for me. Let's see. So this was written by Timothy Fling, and he was actually at the convention. He signed my copy here. I wasn't able to talk to him too much because, surprisingly, there was a lot going on at his table. Well, I guess not surprising because the artwork is fantastic. Here's some internal some artwork there.
Well, also, didn't he have one of those tables that had multiple artists at it too?
No, he was the only one at his.
Oh, he was? Okay.
Yep. And the artist here is Erwin J. Aruza, and this is by Earth Dog Studios. They put out their own books here. So basically, the gist of this one is, and this is 2 stories. I only read the first story, but they take place in this whole entire world that they've built. An extremist group blew up a cobalt mine, and that causing the oceans to roll in onto the coasts. And then after a mechanical revolution, robots seized half of the United States, destroying entire cities. Some of the surviving scientists, they construct stealth ships, and those ships search for other survivors. And one of the ships is the focus of this story, and that captain right there. So they're basically, it's the captain, and that you can see it up there in the right-hand corner. I guess it's some kind of robot thing, but he talks to that, and that kind of controls the ship and is a companion to him. So they're searching for survivors, and they end up discovering a beautiful woman, and they rescue her. And the captain, as you can see on the cover, is quite fond of her because, she's an attractive looking woman.
Yeah.
So he's quite fond of her, and this sets up for a really great twist ending.
He doesn't look that fond of her on that cover, though.
Well, he is. I know that. I guess not. Let me see. What's he doing?
Well, maybe he actually is fond of her.
Oh, that's because
she's not fond of him. Is maybe what's going on there.
Yeah. Well, she's kind of looking robotish there, like a robot. Here's some more interior artwork. Basically, and when you look at this on their website, you know, they say for fans of Richard Matheson, Isaac Asimov, and Harlan Ellison, and I agree. Richard Matheson's one of my favorite authors, and when I read this, I was like, man, this could have been a Richard Matheson story. It's really, really, really cool. So
and Isaac Asimov is one of mine. Yeah, that's
yours. Yep. Yeah. So it's beautiful art. The paper and the quality of the book, you know, the paper stock and all that is top of the line. Excellent writing. 2 stories in here. If you want the cover with the Forbidden Robot Love, that's a $25 book.
Wow.
I did not pay that. I only paid $10 at the convention. And you can get a standard book for like $10, a standard cover for $10. I think I actually have that from their website. So go check them out. I mean, this is stuff that I don't think is in previews. It may have been, but I can't find it in any of my apps. Like CLZ doesn't have it.
More power to them, man. Bring great stuff like this and help them grow so we can, you know, if you're more of a Marvel DC, and I just thought of a good analogy, you know, like Marvel DC and Image are like, you know, pro football caliber. And these guys are like watching college. It's really good. It's just, you know, different good, you know, and you know, we want to make Marvel and we want great stuff like this. And in my opinion, I'm just going off right now, but we want great stuff like this to make Marvel and DC, make sure to keep them on their toes, to make them be good, you know, because there's so much of this out there now. My review is going to be like this too. It's going to be, you know, and I think you got a couple more you said today too, right, Mike?
Yeah, just to touch on, not very much, but yeah, this, you have to search for this stuff, and luckily I stumbled across it at the convention. Had I not seen his table there, I wouldn't know this existed. So this is a must-have. The writing's great. The quality of the book is really well done. They've got this whole world, the Water Wars. It's at 2288. They've got multiple books in that world that I definitely want to try to find more. It got kind of confusing with the, you know, the variant cover had a completely different title than what the book was.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to read up on what you're looking at to order, to make sure you're not ordering a duplicate. Because I couldn't make up my mind, you know, I don't know which book to get. And then, you know, Timothy Fling, he's like, well, actually, it's the same book. Open that one up. That cover's in there. So
can you put the cover up big on there again real quic? Either one. Either one, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the artist, Erwin Aruza, I think it's Aruza, not Arosa. Aruza. I've never heard of his artwork or have heard of him, but it's really good.
Okay, now can you put up the other one real quick? So this is okay.
That's right, my copy. That's a picture of my copy, and I just opened it up to the inside there.
Oh, you get both covers.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. Love it. Okay, cool.
And there are other covers for it too. You know, there's a lot to choose from there. Depends on your price point. You know, that one was $25. It has foil on it and stuff.
Nice. Okay.
But anyway, it's a must-have for it, especially if you like those 3 authors that it's in that vein.
Awesome.
Well
okay.
So there you go. Lost at Sea.
Didn't you say you had a couple other you wanted to touch on, or was that the only one?
Oh yeah, that's right. Maybe I was. And these are because we had a couple weeks off and
what?
So I met Rich Woodall at Baltimore, and he did Sergeant Werewolf. So I took a copy. Xcellar had a copy of that, so he signed that. So stay tuned later on. We're gonna have some contests for some signed books. So this is the Bloody Ring of Dracula. Now this is the ash can. This was $5. I think he had a $25 variant cover, some really cool stuff. And Dracula comes to the United States and Mexico, where he becomes a luchador, which is a Mexican masked wrestler. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was so fun. I mean, it's short, it's an ash can. And I think this part of the story isn't going to be in the series whenever it starts, which is going to be later this year. As Rich had told me, his artist is a pirate during the summer up in Lake Erie. I think there's like a tourist ship or whatever. And he plays a pirate
reenactment, a literal pirate. Got it.
Yeah, there you go. Pirate, not a literal pilot. Yeah, Rich was wearing a Boston baseball hat, so I was like, "Wait, is he like a Pittsburgh Pirate or like a legitimate pirate?" So this is when this comes out. You can order this from his website, I think. When this comes out, this is a get it. It was so much fun. Artwork's great.
And that guy was a great dude too. He's a really good dude.
Yeah, he's really, really great to talk to and all that. So, but then my third one is I'll talk about it whenever you do yours, Kevin.
Okay. All right, Pat, what you got?
Okay. Sticking with the, sort of off the beaten path, non-Marvel, non-DC. I read The Devil's Cut by Distillery this week.
Oh, wow.
This is an 88-page anthology book, and anthology books, they're always kind of hit or miss. There's maybe some stuff in there that you like, some stuff that you don't like, but this, I think, is basically, and some of the evidence bears me out here, that this is sort of a sampling for what the Distillery crew has in store in the future, because some of these little short stories have already been announced as full-blown books. And what I did was I went through, there's 10 different, or is it 11 different stories in this book. Some are 4-pagers, some are 8 pages. It's just varies, whichever they wanted to do, I guess. And what I did was I took a panel from each story. I should mention first that this cover is the Francavilla cover, Francisco Francavilla. Yeah. I thought it was sort of the more interesting choice, although there are other more expensive variant covers, as always, like Mike just talked about, from not all, but many of the different artists that were involved in this book.
Looks very cool. I agree. I like that cover.
So I have 2 different slides here, and basically I took a panel or a couple panels from each story, and I'm just going to run through them real quick so you get an idea of the names that are associated with Distillery and the kind of work that's here. And I'll kind of give it like a mini, I'm just going to give like a thumbs up or a thumbs down the story. The first was Spectrograph, up in the upper left-hand corner there. That's by James Tinian and Christian Ward. Very interesting, it's a 4-pager, very weird kind of story. And there's a lot of weirdness involved in a lot of these books. But this is one I definitely be on board to see more of. Give this one a thumbs up. The next one is Shepherd by Mark Bernardine and Ariella Ristentina. This seemed like more like a one and done shot story. But it ties into a lot of things we've talked about numerous times with either books we've read or shows Kevin's watched, where we're trying to colonize other worlds. We need to go on these long space voyages, and they put people in a cryogenic sleep. Well, this is about the guy who invented some kind of security for these ships because they kept getting hit by pirates. So this guy has created what he calls a shepherd that, is like an android that kind of protects the ship. And it was an interesting story. Give that one a thumbs up. The next one is 8 Rules. This is by Elsa Charretier and PK Colonette. I liked the artwork a great deal in this. It's sort of like in the cartoony side, which I sort of seem to fall on a lot of the times. But the story was just so. It was sort of like a James Bond as a female type of thing. So she seems like a spy or something, and she's getting out of a sticky situation, and hijinks ensue. I give this one sort of a middle ground. The art was great, but the story, yeah. The next one is down in the lower left-hand corner. It's What's Mine is Hearse, Hearse. And this gets into some uncomfortable territory about this woman. I don't know if it says it's based on a true story too. About this woman who it goes into a morgue, and I'm not going to say anymore. It's by Stephanie Phillips and Joelle Jones. The artwork is very good, I thought, in this story. The story is fine, but it's probably definitely not up some people's alleys. Let's just say that. Next one is A Blessed Day by Mirka Andolfo. This I definitely know this. She has more of this coming out just because I follow her and I've seen a lot of artwork for this, and it's basically it's this society where I mean, and it's sort of based on reality, where people worship, actors, celebrities, and musicians. And this character we see with the bald head, he is some kind of demon, and he's gaining power through all this, idol worship, and he seems like he has nefarious means, but in store for everyone, but we really don't know. It's sort of like a little bit of a teaser. But I'm sort of undecided on that one too, even though I'm a big Mirka fan. The next one right there in the middle of the bottom is The Stowaway by Jock, and this has already been announced as a series. It was in last month's previews, as a matter of fact. The book is called Gone. It's about these ships that these space vessels that go between worlds, I guess, and the people, the worlds that they land on are, destitute, downtrodden, but they're required to supply these ships, and it seems to be focused on this young girl. And in this little preview here, she almost gets stuck on a ship, but I think the idea behind the series is that she wants to get off this earth, and she wants to actually see what's out there, beyond the world that she lives in. And this one, it's interesting, but still a little undecided on that. It seems like a, traditional Jock. It reminded me a lot of the one with Jeff Lemire. I forget what the name of it was. The last one that came out that we reviewed a couple times. Snow Angels. It seemed like a lot less Snow Angels influence. The next one in the bottom right-hand corner it was called Deleted Scene Number 2 by Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Riso. This had fantastic artwork, but the story, it lost me. It might have just went over my head. A couple of these stories, I think, just went over my head. Maybe if you reread them, or maybe because you're only getting a small snippet. But the artwork, it's set in like the Old West, and the artwork is like this watercolor look to it, and it's phenomenal. But as of right now, without knowing anything else about if this is going to go on to another series or whatever, I did give this one a pass, unless you're really on board for that Risso artwork. Moving on to the last couple here. Up in the upper left-hand corner is The White Boat by Scott Snyder and Francisco Francavilla, who did the cover for this issue. And I think, it sort of ties into the cover. I think they're both one and the same. And this seems like it's probably going to be, spun off, or is going to be a book. Didn't love this one. The artwork was okay. The story was confusing. It was about a guy who writes about seafaring vessels, boats, and things like that, and he gets sucked aboard this weird ship, and all this weirdness is happening. But I don't know what they're going for here. I'd sort of leave that one undecided too. The middle one in the top there is called What Happens Next, which seemed like sort of a one and done story. It was enjoyable, by Jamie McKelvey, about this super advanced society way in the future. Everything's perfect, but then these little balls of energy they call incursions start happening, and basically they're so smart the one main character figures out that if she gets trapped in one of these in events, that she's going to get shunted off into another dimension, because everybody in this society has done everything, seen everything, figured out everything. She wants to jump to this other Earth, and it was a good story. I really like this one. The one in the upper right hand corner, not so much. It was called Waiting to Die by Rom V and Lee Garbett. I didn't get the point of this one at all. It was about solar flares and people losing their memories, and it just didn't hit with me. I didn't like it, didn't care for it. The art was, okay, but just kind of blah. And the final one, there's actually two panels here, because it was done by two different artists. The story is called What Blighted Flame Burns in Thee. This is by Becky Cloonan and Tula Late. And this is going to be their second series. It's called Somna. Great art by both women here. And in sort of an interesting story about, this is olden days, sort of like Salem witch trial era. And this woman appears to be a witch, or they accuse her of being a witch, but she also runs into this other guy who possibly has some kind of mystical powers too. Like I said, I like Becky Cloonan's artwork a lot. She's been doing a lot more writing recently, but I really like her artwork. And the two styles sort of they're very opposing styles, but they work together. There was like one half of the book was Becky's and the other half was Tula Lite's, and they work together, even though they were sort of jarring. But the story was very interesting, and I'd be on board for that one. So overall, anthology, like I said, anthology stories are tough because there's always going to be something you probably dig, other things not so much. But overall, I'd say this is a good sampling of some high profile talent, starting their own company and distillery. And I think it was I thought I had the price down. I think it was a $10 book. It's oversized. We talked about that last Ronin being annoying. It's magazine size is what it really is. Hardcover, glossy cover with some spot varnish. It looks really nice. Obviously I got it at a discount, and it was well worth it at the discount. But we'll see where the individual stories go. As a whole, I'd give this a get it. Obviously there's going to be some stuff you don't care for, but overall I thought it was production values were well done, and there was enough good to outweigh the bad for sure, at least for me. So
yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah, it's I love reading anthologies. Yeah, put a bunch of stories in one book, I'm good.
A lot of the things, I was thinking about this morning. A lot of the times I think anthologies get a bad rap, especially at Marvel and DC, because I feel like that's a lot of their material where they had no place else to put it, or they're trying out new talent. But these people here involved in this book are proven
heavy hitters. Yeah,
heavy hitters. So you're getting, the potential of, things to come and the best of the best. So it's not, it's not like your standard anthology for maybe like a Marvel or a Dark Horse, which always seem to start out really good, but then they peter off quick as they seem to fill it with less than stellar work inside. So
seems like this could be Imagey, where if they're all getting this together for Distillery. How long has Distillery been around? Did you say?
This is their first thing they've put out.
This is the first one ever.
Like
okay,
3 months.
Okay. Yeah, it seems with like all that talent. Yeah, like this is an Image beginning kind of thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what?
Yeah,
I'm going to show my naive here again. I just realized recently, Jock's a writer and an artist, right?
Well, he definitely is here. I don't know how much writing he's done in the past.
Well, did he do that Daredevil series, or did he just do the art for that? What was that? Daredevil's Volume 3 or something. I can't remember what it was, but he did that whole run of Daredevil, right, Mike? Do you remember?
No. As far as the only other thing that I know of off the top of my head, he wrote a couple issues of Savage Wolverine, like 2 or 3 issues. But
I'm not going to act like I'm super smart with a great memory here. I couldn't even pretend to do that. The only reason I know what I just said is because while I was gathering for the Whatnot show, and you know how I've been trying to track as much information as I could for you know, for me to sell, of course. Yeah, there's a whole Daredevil run Jock does, but I think he does. I'm questioning myself whether he wrote it too, but he's definitely does all the covers.
I'm not familiar with it.
I'll show you after the show, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so so he wrote and drew that story in this, though, right, Pat? That's what you were saying, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And he's the first one to launch a singular book, you know, on its own.
Right.
Yeah, I think Dawn was solicited last month.
Yeah.
Correct.
Did any of us pick it?
No.
Yeah,
this whole thing it's like overwhelming. It's like all this. Here's a big, huge stack of awesome, and they just. I think this is a great way to present it. But yeah, you look at all those creators, and like Kevin said, it's kind of like Image. You know, Image was everybody that was at top of their game at the time. Look what we just created, and I mean, these are some heavy hitters, a lot of creators that I know I like. So it was so overwhelming. I was like, I just can't pay any attention to it right now.
I'm going to say this is a positive overwhelming though. And it sounds like overall so far, Pat agrees with that, right, Pat?
Yeah. And I don't think their plan is to do a lot of this anthology work. I think this was sort of like to push everybody out there in front of their eyes to get eyes on their potential series in the future. But having said that, I think this is a great idea, you know.
Yeah, me too.
I do this maybe not monthly, you know, but you know, maybe once or twice a year. I think it would be perfect to sort of push out new things for them.
Kind of a prequel to launching a dozen books, or definitely, or just if 2 or 3 of them launch, you know, get them together. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Now the books as they come out, you know, like Gone from Jock, is that what size? Is that standard comic book size, or is it going to be the magazine, you know, the large size, or what?
That's a good question. I know they're oversized page count wise, and that's the only side note. That's the one thing that bugs me when you go on Distillery's website is they go on about, you know, this will be presented in a premium format and get your orders in because, you know, this will sell out. And it's a lot of, and they're also doing a digital model too. They're trying to push a lot of digital too, which I mean, all companies seem that you have to get on board with that, but you know, I don't know. But yeah, to answer your question, Mike, I don't know if that's their plan to do, if these are going to be, because Gone #2 isn't on this month's order form. So maybe it's just one book. I don't really know. I have to do some more research into that.
If they really want my attention, do newsprint. I really want newsprint. Honestly, Kirkman, that guy, and I didn't highlight it, but he's reprinting Walking Dead #1, the newsprint version.
I think you did highlight that. I thought
you talked about it. Yeah, you talked about it. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
that's the only way I would have heard about it. So.
Come on, man. If he does, I think maybe I said if he does a whole Walking Dead, not deluxe, starting at #1 where it's all newsprint, son of a gun, am I going to buy a 3rd run of The Walking Dead?
Right.
In case Kirkman's listening, yes, I will.
Well, technically that's your 4th because you got the originals, obviously. Then you got the deluxe, and you got them all in trade too, don't you?
Yeah, I got the trades and the compendium.
So this will be your 4th set.
Yeah, I'm not putting my kids through college. I'm paying for Kirkman's house.
Right. Putting his kids through college.
Kirkman's
Yeah,
kids through college.
right.
Got to break that news to my kids. Crap.
Yeah, that's a great that's a great one though. Pat, thanks for sharing that. And yours too, Mike. I'm loving where all three of us are today on this stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely an indie week, it seems.
Yeah, yeah. So which definitely brings me to mine. I read Crusader by Matt Emmons and Andrei Lukin. That Andrei has an extra I in it. You can see it on the cover there. So I don't know if I'm butchering the pronunciation. I apologize. I actually met them at the con, so I should have clarified that because I told them I was going to talk about it on the show too. And if anybody remembers, this was one of my picks in two previews ago. I think, Mike, you clarified that it was actually our second edition of previous previews, whatever month that was. I could do the math on that, but it doesn't really matter. But I actually did pick this because it sounded pretty interesting, and I'm digging this art. It's definitely unique. And just to kind of recap the story, it's a pretty simple plot as far as especially where we are right now, with only issue 1 being out, where a knight, as you can see on the cover there, is kind of in the midst of battle, and he comes across some kind of witchcraftery, and something that happens with that sends him into an alternate dimension, which I'm glad you're going to touch on this a little bit too, Mike, because I got some clarifying questions for you, which you might not be able to clarify, just getting your opinion. But then he goes into an alternate dimension, and when he plops, he just kind of appears there inexplicably. Definitely to him, they kind of give us some impression, but to him, he's kind of like, what, where am I? And then some goblins are there. And when he first falls down into this new dimension, he's out of it. He's kind of blacked out, and the goblins are getting ready to kill him and eat him. And he wakes up and he slices and dices them. And there's another pseudo goblin. I don't even want to call this guy a goblin, really. What's his name? Grimly, I believe his name is. Grimble. Grimble is his name.
Grimble, that's it. Yeah, I was trying to remember his name. I should have wrote it down. I couldn't remember. Yeah.
So Grimble shows up.
He saved Grimble.
He's there.
Yeah.
Grimble is actually he's getting ready to be eaten by these goblins. He's actually in the same position Han Solo was when the Ewoks were going to burn and eat him, where he's like on his hands are tied and he's kind of on a rack going to be put over a fire, it seemed. That's the way I took the imagery. But then the Crusader releases Grimble, and then he, of course, is thankful for him saving him. So then he offers his services that, he's in a strange place. He doesn't know where he's going. Grimble can help, and he's convincing enough. Crusader still doesn't really seem like he likes him too much. And Grimble actually asks the Crusader's name, and he's not willing to divulge it yet. So we don't know Crusader's name, so that's why I just keep calling him that. But I'm assuming it's just that he is a Crusader. But and then him and Grimble set off on this journey to find other humans. So that's kind of the focus of the book. And then another thing that happens is the witchcraftery witches or wizards, or the powerful, fantastical, mystical beings of this new world he's in, can kind of sense that the Crusader has appeared in their world. So they send this guy that's even more of a hardcore baddie called the Pilgrim off to find the Crusader. And I kind of got the impression that he just been sent on a mission of just go kill this guy. He doesn't belong here. For some reason, these beings that are speaking to him don't like the fact that he's here, so they just send the Pilgrim to go kill him. And that's kind of where we end in issue 1. Like I said, I met these guys. It was totally great. They had some little extras if you bought their book. I got a nice poster and a map of this world, which, I'll be interested to, read and follow at the same time. It'd be nice. Mike, you just put up a picture. You want to start talking about it then? Because I know you read it as well.
That's the poster.
Oh, that's the poster. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And did you have a picture of the map? Yeah, there it is. Okay, gotcha.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool, right? I mean,
Yeah.
And depending on how it goes, I might frame that poster and hang it up because obviously it's cool having met them. If this hopefully, I'll pray for their success and if they're big someday, hopefully they remember people that were totally on board at the beginning and we can continue to appreciate them from years to come. So what was your take on first of all, I'll just say I definitely I don't know if I'd call it a must-have for everybody. The art is definitely unique, which I liked it. But I would definitely say if you're in kind of a fantasy, Crusaders, Knights, Goblins kind of world, if that's your jam, then I would call this a must-have, definitely. And this is by Mad Cave Comics as well, which the other one you highlighted, Mike, I think was Mad Cave as well, right?
Yeah, I highlighted Mad Cave. That was the Eden Frost, about the Russian Civil War.
Right, yeah. So there's another question. We asked about Distillery. How long has Mad Cave been around,
A few years. I'm not sure if they're like an imprint from another publisher. I can't remember.
Okay.
But yeah, they've been around for a few years that I know of. I've been aware of them for a few years. Yeah, he's the Crusader. He's a Templar Knight. I agree with you. I think this was great. The guys at the convention were friendly. They were fun.
Yeah.
And what I think, hopefully, if what Matt was saying, he was just finishing up issue 4. It's just a 4-issue miniseries. But when you look at this map, I think this takes place in a small portion of this map. So if this does well and he gets adventurous, he could create other stories in this whole world that he's already created on this map. So yeah, like you, I'm wishing them luck because I'd love to read more in this series, more in this world. I mean, and then you talked about what was that character? The Pilgrim.
Pilgrim, yeah.
Yeah, I thought I like that name, but there's a screen or a page.
Yeah,
that's the Pilgrim there. And like you said, the story was good. The way it all is laid out and the pacing of it was really cool.
Yeah, I thought
got the Templar Knight. He's in this odd, what is it called? The Badlands or the Beastlands?
Yeah,
the Beastlands. And then you see the Pilgrim come up, and then just the way the last page ended with both of them are now on a new journey where the Pilgrim's after the Templar Knight with his little sidekick group. I can't even remember his name. But anyway, they're off looking for
Grimble.
humans. So.
Grimble.
Yeah. I got a little sticker of Grimble.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I'd have grabbed one. Okay.
I'll give you one. I think I got 3 of them.
Okay, cool. That's what else was cool about a special shout out with this too with them is I got into talking to them so much that I totally forgot to take my map and poster. And it was at the very end of us being me and my daughter, so us being at the convention. So on the way running out to leave the convention, I just took a little swing into where their table was, and I was like, "Hey guys, I forgot to grab my stuff." And they were friendly, and they just gave me the stuff again. So I don't know whether they actually remembered they didn't give it to me, or whether they were just trusting me and but they gave it to me with no questions asked again, and I was able to give them one last goodbye. So that was a fun, and again, we'll probably get into more con stuff later, but man, these guys were one pleasant experience upon many pleasant experiences with small artists and writers at this convention. And I was telling Johnny too that, me and Mike, I think maybe I shouldn't speak for exactly Mike. I may have said it a little bit more than him, that I'm like, okay, this is our 4th year being at the Baltimore Comic-Con. It's like, is this getting to be old hat for us? And every time I go into it, well, I should at least the last 2 times going into it, I've got a big thing I'm looking forward to. This one was Chris Claremont and Art Adams, but then I'm thinking, okay, that's going to take up a very little bit of my time, and then I'm not really, the rest I'll walk around and enjoy myself enough, but it's not going to be anything special. It just never lets you down every time. In my opinion, never lets you down every time. I still found a lot of people to really enjoy. My experience with Art Adams and Chris Claremont especially was so awesome. I could barely contain myself. Obviously you guys both being there, I couldn't shut up the entire time. I was just like, my mind was like on speed. There was such amazing thing happened. The Red Bull might've helped, but I was definitely, I felt like I was just amped up the entire time because I was loving every minute of it. And Matt was just one example of a small part of it that was just was on top of great meeting, great people, pleasant people, friendly people like Matt, and it was great. So yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt if you weren't done with your what you wanted to say about Crusader.
Well, I have one last thing. Luckily, I stopped by the Gainesville store yesterday, and they had one copy of this on the shelf, so I ended up grabbing. I now have 3 copies of number 1. 2 are A cover. And this is the Lunar exclusive. So there are 3. I think there's one of the other distributors. They had an exclusive, but this was my favorite one. So
yeah, that's awesome. I like it.
Yep. So I got one from Matt. I got one from Nova Gateway, and then I grabbed that one yesterday. So
what was the B? Did you say you said you have 3? Did we see the third one?
I don't have I didn't.
Oh, you don't have a picture for that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's cool too. But this was my favorite one out of all of them, just because I really like the. I mean, obviously, it looks like we've got some new characters we're going to be seeing in the next couple issues.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Did you take okay? So you're under the impression it's going to be new characters. I was thinking maybe these are the guys that were talking to the Pilgrim that we kind of didn't see, but sort of saw in the background a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah.
So anyway, yeah, this is for me. It's a get it.
Yeah. At least to get it, but if you're a fantasy knight goblin kind of person, a must-have in my opinion.
Oh,
so, yeah. All right.
So that's that. Is there a crowd? Are they clapping?
Not yet.
The audience out there. I'm gonna dead zone here.
So getting to another apparently oversized, we'll see why, collectibles on the horizon. Are you ready, Pat?
What sized?
A giant size.
There you go.
All right, gotcha. All righty.
All right. Yes.
You muted Pat for some reason.
Yeah, it helps if you hit the right button. Giant size. So yeah, let's talk about where you guys are at with the DC minifigures from Wendy's. Any luck yet? Anyone?
I did not have any luck.
I didn't, but maybe today I will.
Yeah, I made it to Wendy's once. I'm glad you're putting this back on our radar because where I'm going is right by the Wendy's today too. So I'm definitely gonna try to check it out, check and see different Wendy's than I checked out last time you brought it up.
Yeah.
Well, if you weren't following us on Facebook, Mike posted a video of his attempt right after the show last time where he struck out. They had the bag. He supposedly, right, Mike, they had the bags, they had the signage and everything.
Yep.
How about you, Pat?
I went Thursday before the convention on my way home from work. Stood in line. Hey, do you have the DC minifigures yet for the kids' meals? No. All right. See ya.
Yeah. I don't want your crummy food.
It was one of those things. Is this for here to go? Well, it depends on what you have to offer. You don't have anything else. So we have 2 Wendy's in Butler here. So I hit the other one up on Wednesday. I saw a kid eating a kid's meal in the restaurant dining area, and he had a DC bag. They have the signs up for the Boo Bucks with all the DC characters dressed in Halloween garb. Waited in line, and I said, "Hey, is it possible to purchase the kids' meal action figures separately?" And the kid gave me a dumbfounded look, looked on his computer, looked around, yelled over for a supervisor, and she said, "Yeah, there's no button." And then I couldn't hear the rest of the conversation. And he goes, "How many do you want?" And I said, "Well, I was going to start out with 6 if I could, And he reaches into the bin. And I said, they're numbered on the bottom. If I could get possibly 6 different numbers, I don't care what color at this moment. And he pulls out the pets that Mike had the other day.
Oh man.
Oh man.
So I said, "Oh, you don't have the DC stuff yet?" And he's like, "No." I said, "Well, yeah, okay. I just was wondering. I went to the other one last week, and the promotion was supposed to start September 1st. It runs September and October. Yeah, I don't know." I said, "Okay, well, so just for my knowledge, how much are they if you just buy them separately?" And he goes, "She said just give them to you."
What?
No.
You're definitely going to be going in there every week then, huh?
I don't know what's going on. Anyway.
Well, for
Let's move
free,
on.
just to check in at least,
I said, "No, I don't want to do that." I said, actually, I saw a guy on, Facebook or something where he was able to purchase the Boo Bucks, which are $1, and then get a toy each time. So he got a bunch of them,
Well, you buy a regular meal instead of a Happy Meal or whatever their kids' meals are called. And then you take one so you don't feel any guilt for getting it free. You still made them money,
Yeah.
Buy one of their drinks. They make their drinks are like 97% profit, So.
Yeah. So stay tuned. Good luck to all of us, I guess.
Yeah.
I've seen pictures of people that have the whole set, each character and each
What?
color. Give me a break.
Wow.
I don't know how they've got all the signage up, but they don't have the stuff. I mean,
you think it'd be the opposite. You think they'd have the stuff in hand before they would have the signage up,
Let's coordinate here. Don't put it up until you got the toys.
My wife, says, I bet you they're trying to get rid of their old toys first.
Oh, so you're thinking they might actually have it, but they're waiting to get rid of their old toys. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah,
that's fine. Just keep the old toy placards up.
Right.
Then I know. I walk in, I'm like, they still have the little pet thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because there might be people looking for the pet things that gave up because now the DC signage is up.
Exactly, Kevin. You're right on. Yeah, I don't know.
Just like everything, we can do it better.
Right.
Everything I look at, like you're doing it wrong. This could be done better.
Right.
Don't get it.
All right. So moving on to other topics. We've had a 2-week gap here, so I wanted to one final time wrap up the HasLab for the Ghosts. It is over. It met its final goal. It surpassed its final goal. It ended up at 21,768 orders.
Holy macaroni. Can someone do the math on that for me, please?
Times 500.
Hold on. Let me get my calculator out here because I'm not good at math. But I am good at calculating.
Okay.
What was how many orders?
21,768
times 500.
Correct.
Is that right? Is
Like
that 10,884,000?
No, it's 100, right? Oh no, yeah, 10 million 800. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I just questioned a calculator.
I mean, I just questioned you looking at a calculator. But yeah,
They
$10
make
million. Oh my
$1 million.
god! Congratulations, Hasbro. It's just like you discussed, Pat, where they it seems like obviously the people waiting to the end just pulled it out, right?
I guess so. It seems like there's always those people that wait to the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a pretty good outpouring in the last couple weeks there.
Yeah, what 7,000? Didn't you say it was that 13 or just below 13,000 or something? Wasn't it the last time you said it?
Yeah, around there. Yep.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yep.
Good for them though, because someday I hope to be able to afford these kinds of things. So keep them coming.
Yeah, but as we say, as one HasLab ends, another begins.
All right.
It's the Marvel team's turn, and we've got Giant Man.
Interesting. It's an interesting choice.
It is an interesting choice. So Giant Man needs 10,000 orders by October 23rd. And he is $200 for a 24-inch figure.
What?
20.
Yeah, we'll see a size comparison coming up here.
Oh.
Now he's not the biggest figure they've done, but when you equate the price point compared to the other ones they've done, it seems on board with what they've done. So yes, we got the original Giant Man, Hank Pym. Different shots here of him, and as you can see, the face changed there. Get a little close up. There's a lot of texture to the outfit, as you can even see from that picture. Lots of articulation. A lot of it coming in the hands.
Oh wow, is that normal?
No,
That's awesome.
Well, that's $200 normal.
Right. I can't believe I did not write the points of articulation, but over like half of it is in the hands.
Yeah, look at that.
That's pretty cool.
As you can see from the other pictures, you could see he has swappable face plates.
That's cool.
I don't exactly know how that's going to work. It seems it's the eyes and the nose and mouth, but yeah,
like
it has
the
to
mask
slip.
would have to come off. You put it in, and then you put the mask back on, or something.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know if we'll see, or I won't see. I'll have to rely on other people's reports.
Right.
So there's the scale comparison to a normal 6-inch Marvel Legends figure. And here he is stacked up against the other figures they've done as HasLabs.
Yeah, he's small.
Yeah.
Not so giant now, are you?
That doesn't seem very proportional. I always thought he was as big as Sentinels, if not bigger. But obviously I'm wrong.
Well, Giant Man can be whatever size.
Right. Yeah.
And I think the Sentinels have been interpreted, all over the map, but sometimes they can hold, a character in their hand, sometimes I don't know. It just varies. It's one of those things, I guess.
That's true. Yeah.
And then we have some stretch goals. If they get to 12,000, you get a zombie faceplate. And if they get to 14,000, you get an entire Skrull head.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah, I like those.
If I was a Giant Man fan, this would be awesome.
Yeah.
which harkens. I was gonna wait till you finish. I got a question.
No, that's the last picture. So start firing up the questions.
What do you speculate would be the reason why this would be their next HasLab choice? Is there something with Giant Man I'm missing?
No, I don't think so. On the Marvel side, if you can recall, they got burnt last time, literally by the Engine of Vengeance that did not fund. So I think they wanted to play it a little more safe for this one. Maybe not, put their necks on the line with a lot of additional figures that You know, they promise if they always say if stretch figures in these HasLabs don't fund, you're not going to see those figures another way. So they kind of back themselves into a corner. So this is more simple, whereas it's just a figure with some alternate looks. So in a lower, quote unquote, lower price point. So I think they just took a little bit of a safe route.
Gotcha.
See how this one goes. You know.
Gotcha. Well, more power to them, but I'll be shocked. Well, I won't be shocked, but I'll be a little bit surprised that if this makes it to, especially all the stretch goals too. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it's one of those things. If you back this, will you be devastated if you don't get the stretch goals? You're really getting it for probably the main look,
right?
Figure.
Right.
Like I said, they need 10,000 by October 23rd. As of this morning, they were at 4,680.
Wow!
So they're almost halfway. You know.
Okay.
And if you can rely on those people, those last minute people, like we talked about, you know, it's probably going to go, I think, but we'll see.
No, he definitely looks cool.
This isn't a very big. There was your giant size, by the way, if you didn't get it.
Yeah.
Because this Horizon again, not really giant size, pretty small.
Right.
Some more stuff from Hasbro, and I saw this late in the week, and I saw other figures from this line they do, but this one took the cake, and I just had to show it because it's so ridiculous. And that is a Target exclusive Star Wars Black Holiday Snow Trooper.
Man.
I was like, oh, they went there. They did that.
Yeah, I hate that.
It's so ridiculous. I shouldn't have covered you. I should have done this one shot first so I could have seen your reaction, Kevin.
I'm fixing my glasses to kind of look at what's happening there.
Freaking stuff. That's what's so cool about the snow troopers is the lack of any facial expression, you know. So putting a facial expression on it, obviously, especially since it's a snowman, it just makes it that's dumb. No offense to anybody who digs this. I'm sorry. It's just my humble opinion.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't spotlight the other holiday ones, but this one was up there with Joker Eyes Joker. You know, it was so ridiculous that I had to show them.
Snow troopers are actually my number 2 favorite trooper too. That makes it a little bit worse for me because biker scouts have always classically been number 1 for me, and then snow troopers. I love them. That was one.
$28 by the way, Target exclusive.
I had insult to injury. They want to charge you on my life for it. Hey, here's a piece of junk, and you owe me a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
Is the Death Star supposed to be some kind of snowball kind of a thing?
I was trying to figure that out. You know, it's an interrogation droid, right?
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. It's an interrogation.
But the weird thing, you know, you're tracking though. I think it's supposed to be like a snowball. This other shot I saw this, and I didn't include it here because I didn't think it was necessary. But the attachments I couldn't figure out the attachments. Here it looks like normal, perhaps interrogation droid attachments, but I thought the other picture I saw, the things looked weird. I thought it looked like a shovel or a snow shovel, or I don't know what it was. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Let's just move on.
We'll see this in clearance, and I'll say this too: when this reaches clearance status, I just might grab it, just because I did regret not getting the Boba Fett, Christmas holiday one. Not because I really like it. It's just it's just a collector thing, So it's Anyway.
Yep. And the final thing from Hasbro this weekend for the Horizon, and this isn't really that exciting, but I showed it. It's the vintage collection Obi-Wan Darth Vader showdown from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Comes in an outer box, and the figures are individually carded inside.
So I had a major conversation with my youngest son about this weekend. I mean, this week, and yeah, I was kind of reading him the riot act a little bit, but shout out to Max that he just quote he watched this the whole season a second time, which frustrates the living heck out of me because he hasn't watched Mando once. But he pointed out to me, he's like, yeah, hearing, watching stories about, bounty hunters ain't my thing. I'm like, okay, whatever. But anyway,
did you get the DNA test out, Kevin? Is that
right? So he says that he loved every second of this show in season 2, and of course, then I went down a rabbit hole pointing out all the problems, which I kept ending it with. I didn't hate it though. I thought it was okay, but as far as the loving every second of it, I was taken back by that, But his girlfriend loves it too, so that makes him love it more. You know how that goes. But
yeah.
But these are pretty cool. I mean, this is a pretty cool pack. Pat, obviously you being more, the most, seasoned collector of these things, how do you feel about whenever they have this packaging, but then it's just 2 things that you could buy separately put into that box? Like, do you as a collector want it to be different inside too? Or are you okay with the outside being okay, but the inside just being the same as if you could buy it singly or singularly?
Yeah, I don't really get their strategy here, honestly. The only thing I'll say is that this, I believe, is like a fan channel exclusive. So you're not going to find this at Target and Walmart. It's like Amazon and the online toy stores, I believe. So I don't know. I wouldn't. It doesn't matter to me. I think honestly, I'd be happier if they were in just individual card. I don't care about the box.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I'd imagine if it were me, I'd bust that open and take them out. And if I was just going to display them on card, I'd just take them out of that box on card. And then what are you going to do with that box?
Yeah, exactly. It's, by the way, $40.
How much are they singularly again?
I think they're like 17. So they're charging you more here for
what?
The 2-pack. I don't know.
We have a box that you're not going to know what to do with. That's the
right.
That's counterintuitive. Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, even though he's a snow trooper, that ridiculous snow trooper, he is part of Target's Fall Geek Out. And he went up for pre-order along with the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man and the Moon Knight that I showed last Horizon. They went up for pre-order this week at the Target Fall Geek Out. But that's it for your Horizon this week.
Well, it was still good, even though it's short. Seeing some good stuff that I would not be aware of if it wasn't for you. And not so good stuff that I wouldn't be aware of as well. So, it works both ways. All right. So before we get to the recap real quick, I wanted to mention a couple things that are worth mentioning real quick. First of all, we have decided on a theme for Cover Combat 6. And I think Pat mentioned we changed it up a little bit. He's 90% ready to reveal the logo for that next week. No.
The twist in the category, dive bombed my ideas. So
so he doesn't have it ready, but he'll have it ready by next week.
Let's hope.
No pressure.
Save the one you're working on though, because it may come back around.
I've had it. It's been on the shelf for a year now, over a year now.
Okay. But anyway, so Cover Combat 6's theme will be, drum roll, 1980s DC covers only. That should be pretty fun.
Yep.
Yeah. As Patrick was so gracious to suggest that we go with a theme by Johnny's Choice, because Johnny is the last Xcellar group member standing without the coveted Cover Combat Champion trophy. Oh, do we have a trophy? I don't know. We need a trophy. We should make one like we did with fantasy football, where it traveled. Well, actually, I did. No. I did that with trivia or something. I sent it to Mike from New York, and I never saw it again. What is that? Was that trivia, Pat? Because I think
we had the trivia, but we also had the get together trophy, because I currently have that in my possession.
Oh, okay, yeah, I gotcha. Okay, yeah,
I'm looking at it right now.
That was a trophy.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
I might have trouble reaching it. I can see it. I don't think I can reach it.
Okay. So, yeah,
I'll work on a trophy.
That's what I was gonna say. We need to make a Cover Combat trophy. And Mike, you need to. No pressure on you either. Here, I keep volunteering everybody for everything. Right. But Mike, when you get
from me again, call the cop. Call the paramedic.
Mike, your Cover Combat Champions, easels you have made are awesome. So if you can manage to get the first 5 done by the time we're starting Cover Combat 6, that would be awesome behind you somehow, like during Cover
right.
Especially since you don't have the background anymore. You had the Cover Combat background before. Having those easels sitting up behind you, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'll figure something out.
Yeah. Let's see it, Pat. There you go.
So, Kevin, you'll have to refresh. It says first annual BSCH champion.
Yeah. What was BSCH for?
Butler, maybe. It's 2017.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
I have my because Mike from New York wouldn't give the statue back. You did this for that year. This is trivia champion round 3.
Yeah. That went by the wayside because no one could win it except Pat.
That was crushing. He was just crushing us.
And then, I don't want to badmouth Mike from New York, though. He was obviously a contender, but basically Mike from New York checked out. So then Pat was just like taking it, running away with it constantly. Everyone's like, why are we doing this still? But anyway, so again, Pat suggested that Johnny should get to choose the theme since he's the last Xcellar group member without that coveted
little twist on that, though. A little twist on that, Kevin.
Okay.
Because we have a returning competitor that hasn't won either.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think of that. Daggum. Yep. Okay. So yeah, we're twists and turns everywhere in this story. So it will be 1980s DC themed covers only. Next week we will have, God willing, a logo and a everybody will start submitting their covers this week, right, Mike?
Yeah.
So we'll be revealing around 1A.
I don't know. Because that's a lot of work.
Oh, we did talk about 2 weeks. Actually, you did. You mentioned that before.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the theme reveal. Maybe next week we'll have the logo, but it takes a little pressure off Pat too. So in 2 weeks we'll do round 1A.
Yes.
And then that gives you, if you have it next week, we can show it next week, Pat. But if you don't, as long as we have it in 2 weeks, that'll work too. Which actually gives me time for something else I wanted to kind of slip into when we have non-cover combat things going on. Is I picked this mystery bag up from Third Eye Comics. They're out of Maryland at the Baltimore Comic-Con, and you know, I've been thinking about busting open because this is 20 random comics, and it also has a possibility of having a rare exclusive variant and a gift card in here for Third Eye Comics, which you can do online even if you aren't local to Maryland. And I have that, I think I may have mentioned it before, the Anti-Hero Gallery mystery box coming too. So I was thinking, what am I thinking?
Giveaway.
No.
You got a
Get
deal
it
or
or
you
forget it.
real?
You got a deal or you for
There you
real
go.
could make a rare appearance next show. If I get the Anti-Hero Gallery by then, we could do that. That sounds like it could be fun, right?
Yep.
It's like, oh God, yeah, that again. And then lastly, I just wanted to mention I'm going to start reaching out to people this week. I already sent out one invite, but I'm going to be sending out more to participate in the first viewer submission cover combat, which hopefully we can get enough submissions to do that for Cover Combat 7. That's my opinion. You guys good with that?
Yep.
Okay. If we don't have enough submissions by Cover Combat 7, then we can spin the wheel or do something, get back to that. But hopefully I'm hoping, and I'm confident because I get good responses when I reach out to people that I can get enough viewer submissions to be ready for Cover Combat 7. And the biggest reason I'm mentioning that right now is this is your chance. I don't exactly have the specific details, but there's going to be a big prize for whoever submits the winning cover and wins the submission or the viewer submission Cover Combat. We're hoping it's 7, but I'm not saying 7 in case it's not. Whoever wins that will win a big prize, and we mean big, right, Mike?
Yep.
So if you're watching this right now, you want to send us a message, whether it be through Facebook, YouTube, you can even send it through Instagram or hit me up and whatnot. If you want to submit any cover or covers, I'll take from 1 to 8 covers to participate in that Cover Combat. You can win a big prize, and it's first come, first serve. Once I have enough covers, it's full, and you'll have to get in line for the next one because I hope it goes so well that we do many of them. But send me a message, send us a message, comment here, whatever you want to do. Let us know you want to participate, and I will send you a message letting you know which covers are limited, because the only ones that's limited until we get more covers are the ones that are already champs, because that's basically the standard rule we're going with. If it's already a Cover Combat champ, it can't be submitted in another Cover Combat. So until we get to 46 champs, and then we'll have a Cover Combat champs Cover Combat, which would be awesome too. So anyway, so let's get into I just want to mention all that real quick, and then we'll get into our recap. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Mike.
Start off the recap with a throwback to our last show, where now we have a what New York Mike finds ridiculous this week. So what he finds ridiculous this week is what's ridiculous this week: people not giving a movie, show, or limited series a chance to tell its story before giving it a fair chance. Is that right? Anyway, everything has to be instant gratification instead of paying attention to the story being told. I know I fall into that with what was the last Marvel show that was on that I watched the first episode.
Secret Invasion.
Yeah, Secret Invasion. I tapped out after the first episode. So I guess I was ridiculous there. But I don't regret it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point because you think about traditional TV shows, you know, that run for 7, 8 years. The first year is never that great. Mm-hmm. They usually have to find their chemistry, find their footing. Yet we're pumping out these series on streaming services all the time, and they have to meet these numbers for you know, whatever numbers they need, you know, viewers, and it's tough. I mean, shows don't really get a chance to develop and gel like they used to on traditional networks.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yep.
Yeah, the Office is a good example for me. I watched the first episode of The Office going, I hear this is supposed to be really funny. And after it was over, I was like, I don't even know what I just watched. I didn't laugh at all. That was ridiculous. And
that's actually the one I was going to mention too. Yeah. Yeah.
And then after that was a short season, I think you and I sat down and started watching it and couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I questioned myself. I'm like, what was I thinking? This is all.
Yeah. Yeah. Which that's why The Office is a hard sell to anybody who's not familiar with it. You know, it's so big now that it seems like it's a no-brainer that it's great. But if someone that's not familiar with it sits down, they're going to experience the same thing we did. They're going to be like, how the heck is this so big? You know, with just the first few episodes. Yeah. So anyway, good one, Mike. Look forward to, Mike from New York. Good one. And look forward to getting a new thing that's ridiculous every week from you. And, you know, it could be outside of anything that we cover on this show too. Like he could think it's ridiculous that Aaron Rodgers played one down before, you know, busting his ACL in his Jets debut, you know, so that's ridiculous. Could be something like that. Anything, you know? Yeah. And maybe it might be a tag team between Johnny and Mike from New York too, because Mike's a busy man. It's hard to get a hold of that guy sometimes. He appears and then he disappears for like months, and then he comes back and you know. So anyway, either way, every week or randomly, I'm good with Mike from New York being around. That's for sure.
He might be a spy. Maybe that's what he does.
Yeah.
Where you been? Mission. I can't talk about it. Secret mission.
All right, what you got, Pat?
Russian winters are no joke.
They are. It's facts. If you want and need more Daryl, it's here. And I didn't know I wanted and needed more Daryl until I watched the first episode of Walking Dead Daryl Dixon.
Nice. Stay tuned because at some point we're probably what? Hello?
Sorry, Karen. Karen's up.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Karen.
Karen says from the books of on book plate. What?
Ex Libris. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I need clarification on there. So Ex Libris means go back to what you put up originally, Karen. From the book of on book plate. So
like from the book wait. Huh?
Yeah, I'm a little confused. So is that literal? Like that's what the definition says it is in like the wherever you read it? Or is there like that is a space intentionally because something goes there? Like it's supposed to be from the book of Boba Fett on book plate, you know, like that.
Well, the book plate might be part of a book, and that's what's written on the book plate.
Exactly. There you go.
Okay, say that again.
The book plate, it's part of a book. I think it's like the inner page, and on there it says from the book of such and such.
You have to show me that in real life, Mike. I'm not tracking.
Yeah, I was trying to. I know I have some right here, but I can't reach over and think of which one has it. But that's normally what it says for a book.
I'll ask my librarian.
Okay, Karen's trying to clarify. Is the Oh, she took it away. We're making Pat work this show.
Yeah,
Karen,
I remembered. I remembered where I have one. Yep, right there.
okay, that's inside the front of the book.
Yeah, they did this separate because of printing logistics, but this goes in the latest Perhapanauts field guide. So the idea is you paste this into the front cover of your book, and your name is supposed to go here.
Okay, yeah. Karen's explaining along with you, tracking. She's like this book is from the Library of Jessica. Okay, gotcha. Okay, all right. Thank God. I'm glad I know that now. Learn something new every day.
Yep.
All right, Mike, what was your next one? I interrupted you because Karen put hers up.
Yeah, I cut Karen off. So stay tuned because at some point we're gonna have the Jokerized Snow Trooper action figure. We're all gonna love.
Let's cross our fingers.
I'm hoping. Maybe I'm gonna buy a Snow Trooper and Jokerize it.
I can't wait to see it after I get my Boba Fett.
Right. Oh, that's right. I'll think that. Keep reminding me. It's only been a year.
Yeah.
I gotta paint Boba Fett. Okay.
This is just a statement, not really a recap, but conventions are awesome, and they're even more awesome when you can spend time with your friends when you're there.
Oh yeah, that's facts. Yes. Yeah, and apologies for not us having pictures and stuff for the convention. We'll get to that. That's another thing we're going to kind of work out exactly how we're going to work that. It's coming though. It's gonna be inbound. All of us are still just kind of with our stuff randomly set around our dwellings as we speak. We got to figure it out. So I was going to say nostalgia is getting used a little bit too much, but I'm still in.
Mm-hmm.
To some people, I should say, which I think is fair because it is everywhere, especially in the Star Wars universe right now, you know?
This one's kind of coming at this one from a few angles. It's a photo that we didn't really talk about this, but it kind of piggybacks onto what Patrick just said, how awesome the convention was. You know, we all got to see each other. Pat and his family were down, so we got to hang out for the day and a half. And Patrick saw this. I took this. I don't know whose dog this is. Patrick saw this Friday, the Sith dog, and was explaining it to us. And I don't remember the details of the whole story about how funny it was, but Kevin wants to expand on it. And also, I can't wait for the action figure of this dog. I really hope they make one.
So to elaborate more on it, what was so funny is Mike or Pat just asked us if we saw this dog because we, obviously have to split up during the convention at times. So Pat, we were actually in a line together, and Pat's like, "Hey, did you see the Sith dog?" And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Did you see this the dog with the lightsaber in its mouth?" And first my first dumb question was, "How do you know it was Sith?" And then Pat, of course, was like, "It's red." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, got it." But then the whole time in my head, all I could envision was a cosplayer, like a human being, dressed up as a dog that had a lightsaber in its mouth. Which, even though you're a human being, if you're dressed up as like a dog, that would make sense to have it in your mouth as opposed to holding it. But when I can't remember exactly what triggered it for me that it was an actual dog with a lightsaber. I think it was you mentioning, Pat, how you were just concerned that it didn't whack you with that thing as it rolled by or whatever.
Yeah, we saw an unrelated, different dog.
Oh, it wasn't actually this one.
Well, we all saw the other dog. I said, was that? I wonder if that was if he was a Jedi.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, we saw.
That's when it clicked for you.
Yeah, that's right.
You're like, okay. Wait, it was an actual dog.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yep. Okay. Man, I'm really sad that I didn't get to see this dog in real life because yeah, it would have been great. So
hopefully that dog won the cosplay contest because I would vote for him all day long. That's a good dog. Anyway,
but now there's potential for somebody to cosplay as this dog cosplaying as a Sith. Right. So it might all come true, Kevin.
That would be awesome.
But
I would love every
thanks to whoever shared this photo on the Baltimore Comic Con page. I
Yeah.
didn't take this photo. I borrowed it.
Yeah. I'd ask for an autograph too, just to be hilarious, because that's what I do. Karen's chiming in before I got my next one in, which is good. She said Walking Dead lives on. Yes, it does, Karen, in multiple series that just started. I don't know. Is there a season amount or episode amount for the first seasons of both of the new series, Pat? Do you know?
Yeah, Dead City's already done. I think it was 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Daggum.
I think Daryl is similar, but I'm not 100% on that.
Do you know if Dead City got a season 2?
Not sure, but I think I read that Daryl, even before 1 premiered, it got renewed for season 2. I think I read that.
Oh yeah, you can imagine. I mean, yeah, it's so funny. Whenever I watch Daryl, I like Daryl. I love Daryl, but I go into it kind of not expecting much. But then he just still delivers. It's like I don't know. He just has this way about him that, in my opinion, at least, that's just he's endearing, But anyway, because he doesn't say much, Anyway, so I was gonna just say that, and I was gonna mention The Walking Dead too. Oh wait, I already mentioned The Walking Dead. Damn it, I totally derailed there. Mike, what you got? I'm gonna think while you got your next one.
I'll just tune in next week and I'll cut Karen off every time again. Sorry, Karen. That's all I have.
Yeah, other than trophies are awesome. That's all I had too.
Dadgummit, I had a good one and I totally forgot it. I should write this stuff down.
You should. I do.
Kevin's a sucker for werewolves. Karen's on point. You're right.
Yeah.
I am a sucker for werewolves. Oh, I don't collect prints. I do not collect prints.
Mm.
What was that, Karen? That second one you put up? Yeah, I need to brush up on my artsy terms. That's what Karen's saying. That's true. Yes, that is facts. So, all right, that's about it then. You guys good?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Get your giant Ant-Man while the getting's good. And whenever anybody out there gets the Hasbro Ghost, please come on our show. We want to see it in real life. The $10 million toy. Crazy. But anyway. All right. Oh, that's what else I wanted to do, but that's okay. Okay. And your claps are shortened today.
What's going on? I can't hear anything.
There was claps happening, Mike. Anytime me and Pat are just completely silent intentionally, you can tell there's something happening you're missing.
But it seems long. That's why I said I'm like.
Okay. All right. So here we go. Please like and comment on this video, as well as subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications. And just the comment reminders again, you can comment on whether you want to submit covers for Cover Combat, hopefully 7, or, just fun, comments. We love to hear everybody's feedback, especially if anybody was at Baltimore Comic Con. We'd love to hear anything anyone has to say about that. And hopefully we can get some people from that on our show in the future. Please subscribe to Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space on Spotify for podcasters or many other podcast providers. And please listen to the edited podcast of this live stream on Spotify that will be posted no later than Tuesday. Follow XcellarComics on Facebook, Instagram, and or X, aka Twitter. That's probably the last time I'll say that. I'll just change it to X from now on. And follow Xcellar_comics on TikTok and whatnot. Watch our shows on the Whatnot app. I've got today 1:30, but I've already moved that one because of things. I've got a show scheduled Monday and Tuesday, 8 p.m. next week, because I'm definitely not getting around to any shows this weekend at all because of life. So you can bookmark those now. I'd appreciate it if you do. And check out what we have to offer on eBay at Xcellar_comics and on our website, XcellarComics.com. And you can help support the show through Patreon at patreon.com/XcellarComics. We'd really appreciate it. And then lastly, watch our next live stream on YouTube or Facebook Saturday. Oh, that's September 24th. I put the date there last time. I didn't change the banners. You know, you think with an hour and a half pregame, we'd have nailed all these little things.
Yeah.
But the next show is next Saturday. I don't need a date. It's a week from now for the next show. You know, so 9:30 a.m. ish Eastern Standard Time. Oh, man, we came in strong. We kind of puttered at the end there. I don't know. Well,
Patrick and I were rocking until a minute ago. All right. Well, yeah. It's team effort.
Yeah. Okay. Karen, why you keep cutting it short? Are you trying to play it out? It does it itself. Man, technology. You know what? We're gonna be together soon, and hopefully we can do a podcast together. Maybe that sort of problem. All our problems will be resolved then. You know. So. All right, you guys got anything else?
I don't
know.
All right, cool. Thank you, everyone, that stopped by. Thank you for watching our videos and checking out everything we have to offer everywhere. And until next time, don't forget, appreciating great art is awesome, and reading a great story is fun. So why not pick up a comic book and do both? Xcellar out.